Hey, what's up? You've probably noticed from the runtime of this video that it is a long one, so felt like I needed to give a couple of disclaimers at the beginning before we get started. But if you're not really a fan of disclaimers or you don't give a shit, you can just skip to this timestamp or whatever. Alright, this one is a long one because it spans across many live streams from September of last year to May. And trust me, I tried to get it down as short as I possibly could, and this is about as short as I could get it. So you're welcome. It took a lot of editing. You'll definitely notice that there is a lot of background music in this video. It's all music I played during the stream, so hardly any of it was added after the fact, so the audio balancing is a little askew here and there. There are parts where the music is louder than it should be or quieter than it is normally, so if that bothers you, I apologize. There's not really much I can do to fix it. You'll also notice that the music changes a lot. There's gonna be background music that only plays for like a few seconds. That's because I had to cut out a lot of yapping. Anyone who watches my live streams knows I am a notorious yapper. I did you a kindness by cutting out most of the irrelevant stuff, but as a consequence of that, the background music jumps around a lot, so for that, I apologize. I tried to make the transitions as smooth as possible throughout this video, so hope you don't mind. You should also keep in mind that this supercut isn't going to be a super comprehensive analysis on the entire situation involving Synnibear, Birdie, and Izzy. Rather, this is mostly going to be focused on the cat dispute specifically between Synnibear and Izzy, because that's the part I found the most personally fascinating, and this is my channel so I can talk about whatever I want. If you want a complete deep dive into this entire drama involving these three, I will put a video in the description that does just that, and I think it's pretty good. And finally, I left the best disclaimer for last, so if you were one of the people who skipped to this timestamp hoping to avoid the disclaimers, well, too bad, there's another one. This video was not made with the intention to send people after Izzy or harass her or demand that she take some kind of accountability for all of this. I don't think anybody should be harassed for this situation. I don't think anybody should be doxxed for this situation. Anyway, you know the drill. Don't go doxing, don't go harassing, all that good stuff. Okay, anyway, moving on. If for some reason you're uninformed of this entire situation, I will give the briefest rundown possible so that you have as much context as you need for this. Birdie, also known as Jack, was living with Synnibear03. Synnibear03 was accused of grooming a kid. It was later proven that she was grooming a kid. Primarily, Synni was sharing with this kid a comic of hers where an alternate universe version of Sans gets beat up by a Five Nights at Freddy's. Freddy Fazbear. Gets beat up, tortured, and sexually assaulted by a Friday Night Funkin' fan character. Yeah, I know. Welcome to the internet. I did a couple of streams reacting to all that stuff too, but that's not really the focal point of this particular supercut, so instead I'll just give you a quick highlight reel. Here's Synni telling the group chat she got horny when listening to Ponder Sprocket. That's fucking weird. There is so much unnecessary face sitting here. I don't like this. What the fuck? Really loud farting. So loud. Muffled screams. So now she's farting on their face? What? Stop! 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 No. Why are you doing him like this? Why did he make Nightmare a pedophile? What the fuck? Otherwise we gonna see blue dick sensors all day in a cat girl stream. What the- hey! I just saw it. I'm so horny, dog. Pussy has a heartbeat right now. Okay. Enough. You put a comment on my last stream saying, Enla, the second document has hit the Synni Tower. Oh no. Oh no, you're gonna kill me. Nightmare is awful in my AU. He does pedo shit in my AU. Ah, stop! No! Stop. What the fuck? He'd vomit on himself, probably become incontinent. Nightmare actually starts crying at some point, and Boy makes fun of him. This is just like, this is just this isn't even real. I'm reading this like this actually happened. It's 110. This is really just like a Kai Dahlia shit. Oh, yep, there it is. There it is. I'm like, No, what the fuck? Why would you do that? This is sick. Go to jail. Go to jail. Go to jail. Oh my god. I can't. Oh my god. Okay, I think we finally got past. Nope. No, we're still going. No. Viewers are discussing disturbing information being revealed about Nightmare, the entity, possibly being a predator or being associated with a waterworks kink. Why did you guys do this? It's your fault. I feel bad for a character that doesn't exist. Wow, what memories, anyway. Jack, apparently being so outraged, shocked, and disgusted by this, decided to make a GoFundMe for himself to raise money so that he could leave and quote-unquote get to safety. Naturally, Synni had a falling out with a lot of her friends, Izzy included. Izzy helped Jack move out a lot of his stuff from Synni's apartment, but also took one of their 2 cats with him, both cats being under Synni's name legally, so he had no right to take the cat. And that's it. That's where we begin our story. Enjoy! Hey, Vsauce! Michael here. Where is my cat? We got a cat right here. She's so cute. Okay, Mitzi. Alright, so Synnibear posted this video, like, when? Yesterday. A lot of things happened yesterday. The ongoing cat dispute has an update, and we're about to watch it. Oh yeah, speaking of Free the Ferret, should we bring up that screenshot, by the way? That infamous Birdie screenshot? Because I think it's worth mentioning. I can't do math, so I don't know. Probably like 19-ish when Birdie wrote this. I have no fucking idea why, but when my Hamily left the house, I tried to make Kara do teen ants on me. What is that? Guys, I don't know what that means. No. No. No, there's no way that means that. Are you what? I'm so fucking upset at 13-year-old me. I didn't even go through with it, but you just said that you tried to do it. What are you talking about? I don't abuse animals, but you did. It was a one-time thing. I only tried to molest my pet once, which, like I said, I have no fucking idea why I did that. Why? The important question is, why the fuck are you talking about it on the internet? I love Kara so much, I can tell that I would never do that now. She's like a daughter to me! Stop, you're making it worse! I'd never do that again! That poor girl. I thought I'd take this secret to my grave, but now you know. You should! In before people try to use the, Birdie was just a child, Birdie was groomed excuse. 13 is old enough to know to not molest your pet. What I understand from this cat debacle is that when Birdie left Synni's apartment, they took one of Synni's cats with them. I guess the cat's name is Skirp, which is like the stupidest fucking name ever. This is the cat that these 2 are fighting over.
I have no idea where my cat is, and I don't know if he's even aware of where she is.
The other cat is named Stupid, by the way. So dumb. Do you have any respect for your pets? At all? I think Synni needs to have more respect for her cats. Maybe give them better names. I don't know, like Stupid and Skirp are like names that you would give a stuffed animal. Not a living, breathing thing.
The reason I stress this point so much is because Jack is acting like I'm actively abusing Stupid, the cat that he left behind. He says I'm not taking care of her because when he came over, my apartment was dirty and the floor was covered in litter and Stupid's nails weren't clipped. And I'm so fucking annoyed because as soon as I came home, the same day he came over, hours after he left, I came home and I was on my hands and knees scrubbing the floor. I swept, I mopped, and I scrubbed the
Why do they always do this? I was on my hands and knees, scrubbing the floor like a slave, like a servant. They always do these, like, emotional little zingers. Like, they put, like, this emotional zest into their like, retelling of events. I was on my hands and knees, crying, sobbing my eyes out, my lungs bereft of air.
I made that floor sparkle.
You're acting like you had no power or autonomy while Birdie was living there, but that's just not true. Why can't you just admit that you were also lazy and depressed and lethargic?
Trimming the cat's nails has always been a 2-person job, and I've been struggling to find-
It's not a 2-person job, by the way. You can clip your cat's claws solo. It can be depending on the cat. Even then, there are very good ways at like restraining the cat without hurting them. You do the same thing that they do in vets. You can use a blanket. Here's the thing. The cats, apparently, they are under Synny's name legally. Like, on the paperwork, on the adoption paperwork, the cats are under Synny's ownership. Even if Synny bought the cat for both of them, or bought the cat so that Birdie could have a friend, or that Birdie could have a cat while in the apartment, the ownership still belongs to Synny. Legally, they belong to her. Like, this entire, like, debacle about, like, well, I take better care of the cat. Well, I love the cat more. Pointless. It's meaningless arguments. Just say, I have the paperwork, they belong to me, give them back to me. That's all you need to say. That's all you really need to say. Doing these, like, emotional pleas and, like, arguments to the internet for like, public approval or whatever, it's pointless. It's completely pointless. Like, as long as the cats look happy and healthy, and you're taking care of them, and you're not, like, a hoarder, or your place is a disaster, and the cats can live a comfortable life, that's all the cats need. They don't need to live in luxury. You don't need to be the perfect cat owner. If you take care of them, if you take proper care of them, that's all you need. These people are so, like, fucking brain rotted that they don't understand that at all. Like, Synny thinks that this is the best thing that she can do, is make, like, an emotional plea to the internet about her cat.
Izzy, the friend I believe to be holding the cat, was...
Okay, these are important. Hold on. Why is my address there? I can return the flash drive, the monitor, and the jewelry, and my cat. Can I just ask why? Why do you want the cat so badly? Because it belongs to her. You want the cat so badly, you said to yourself you didn't want the cat. Did she? If she said she didn't want the cat, she should probably show that in writing somewhere. You also said that Jack was the one who wanted it being the cat. Synny, again, why is my address there? I'm not arguing with you, and I don't owe you an explanation. You have until the 25th. I mean, she's got a point. I don't owe you an explanation. Yeah, you do, because Jack is owed an explanation. You are not owed an explanation over the legality of a cat! This is, like, really evasive. Can I, like, if you ask someone, please give me my cat back, and they go, but why do you want the cat so badly? You said you didn't even want it. It means they have your cat, and they don't want to give it back to you. As for the jewelry, unfortunately, I don't have it with me, nor does Jack. Where the fuck is the jewelry, then? Did they pawn it off? Because why do you want her so badly? Even then, I'm just curious. I already told you that I'm responsible for this cat, and I don't fucking trust either of you as far as I can throw you. You've proven time and time again that none of you are trustworthy, so I don't trust you with my baby. Synny, what? The fact that you don't realize the true scope of the damage you've done and have pushed everything on Jack? This isn't about Jack anyway. This is about you and your victim. Doesn't matter. You have to give the cat back. Clearly, Izzy has the cat, so why are you still saying that you thought Izzy had the cat? Like, does she have the... Why do you... This is so maddening. These people are insane. How does Synny not know where the cat is when, like, just by these text messages alone, it seems pretty fucking obvious that this Izzy person has the cat. I sent Izzy a legal notice addressed to Jack because he has no address. This is why. How do you... Okay, what do you mean you sent a legal notice? Like, did you get, like, a lawyer to do this? Did you get, like, a prosecutor to do this? Did you do this through the court system? Like, what do you mean you sent a legal notice? Well, no, the reason why Jack has no address is because Jack is hopping from person to person, mooching off of people right now, living on people's couches. I went to Izzy's house to attempt to retrieve my kid and I recorded the following conversation in case anything scary happened. Okay.
Hello.
Hello. What's up?
What's up? What's up?
Are you Elizabeth's father?
Yes.
Hi. I'm here to retrieve my cat.
Okay, Elizabeth, maybe inside.
I'm here for my cat.
No.
What do you mean
no?
Cynthia, you're not allowed here.
What do you mean?
Cynthia, go home.
Your father
Yeah, what do you mean you're not allowed here? Synny, the imaginary cops in my head said that you're trespassing.
Where's my cat?
I'm not going to give that to you.
See, this text right here is more proof that Izzy has this cat, so I don't know why Synnibear is acting like she doesn't know where her cat is.
She's literally my cat.
No.
I have the paperwork. I can show you the paperwork, actually.
Cynthia, just because you bought this cat for Jack. You said you bought this.
Yeah, she almost fucking said it. Did you catch that?
Actually.
Cynthia,
Just because you...
bought this cat.
What do you think she was about to say there? Just because you have the legal paperwork saying that you own the cat doesn't mean you own the cat.
You said you bought this cat for Jack.
That means literally.
It doesn't mean anything. Parents can buy animals for their children. You can buy a dog for your child. That doesn't mean that they own the dog. You still own the dog. Unless the paperwork is in their name, it is not theirs. Parents can buy children. No. Did I say that? Parents can buy children?
That does mean something.
No, it
you
doesn't.
Bought this cat for Jack, yes?
How did Cinny get instantly stun-locked?
You buy this cat for Jack.
That doesn't mean anything.
Cynthia, it's simple. Yes or no?
That does not matter.
Cynthia, did you buy this cat for Jack?
That doesn't matter.
Cynthia, did you buy this cat
Oh my
Izzy.
god, I can't.
Cindy, go home or I will call 911.
Good, somebody needs to call 911. Honestly, if she did call the authorities, then the authorities would probably help get Cinny's cat back.
And, like, what are they gonna do?
Get your cat back! They are gonna get your cat back! The only thing that could usurp the adoption paperwork would be vet records, and the only receipts showing who actually is caring for the animal, which would have been Cinny because Birdie is a mooch. Yeah.
Go. Is this cat yours? I mean...
It just keeps getting dumber. Is this cat yours? Is this cat well... The thing is, I just have a really hard time believing the shit that Cinny says. Like, it's like Synnibear has been, like, somehow duped into thinking that Izzy does not have her cat when she very clearly does. And she made this video asking, "Where is my cat?" and starting it off by saying, "I genuinely have no idea where my cat is." Even though all the evidence is pointing toward this Izzy person having the cat, and Izzy literally saying, "I'm not giving you the cat." If Cinny is that fucking stupid, I don't think I believe her when she says, "I called the cops and they said we can't help you with that." I really don't believe it. I think maybe she, like, called someone, like the Best Buy down the street, and they were like, "Ma'am, we can't help you with that." Why didn't she just talk to the dad, like, "Hey, is there a cat here? Does Izzy have a cat? Like, what is going on here?" Obviously, Izzy lives with her dad, so he would be the authority in this situation, and what he says goes. So why wouldn't she turn and try to, like, talk to the father about this situation?
My cat. I spent the money. I signed the paperwork. Give me my cat.
This cat back. Didn't Jack give you the money for your cat?
It doesn't matter. Even if Birdie is the one who gave Cinny the money to buy the cat, it still doesn't matter if, like, legally, the cat belongs to Cinny.
You know how long ago that was? Like 6 months ago.
Why is Cinny allowing the conversation to get derailed like this? If you are here to retrieve your cat, you need to stick to that. You don't have to try and sit here and convince the person that you want your cat back. This is pointless.
Because
You literally, I
Because-
gave you a letter.
this cat was Jack. This cat
They're both stun locked right now. This is so weird. Well, exactly. Like, if you know you're not good at confrontations like this is why you bring an officer or another, like, a third party or someone to come and help you, like, get this cat back. Not just go there by yourself with, like, your cell phone recording and being like, I want my cat back. Give me my cat back.
Give me my cat.
well,
Well,
my cat now.
what? Your brain is on fucking airplane mode, dude. It's my cat now.
What do you mean it's your cat now?
I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of believe that.
You can figure that out. But
Figure
Cynthia,
that out. Okay.
You bought this cat for Jack.
They're just looping. They're just caught in this eternal loop. Do you want to know how much he did for this cat? It doesn't fucking matter. Dad is my
Clean the
favorite
litter boxes
character.
when I asked him to.
He said hello, let her in, and then left. And he's the best character in this arc.
Like, only when I asked him to.
They need to bring the dad back.
Cynthia, why are you even here?
Why are you here? We're back to this again. We are back at the beginning of the call. I'm back in the fucking building again!
I would like to retrieve my cat.
No.
I don't trust you. I do not trust you with this cat.
Now!
Go.
I want my cat.
Cynthia, go.
How about you just say, call the cops then? Call the cops. That's like the best outcome for you, Cinny. Why don't you just say, I'm not leaving until you give me my cat? Because if they come to a public disturbance, they'll try to find like the best outcome so that everybody leaves. And if you have the paperwork with you in that moment that you can show the cops, they will just take the path of least resistance and give you the cat so you can leave them alone and leave. Technically, the cops are supposed to help in situations like this, but they don't even help with street violence or grape. Yeah, okay, I get it. You hate St. Louis. I'm just saying, like, ideally, that is what is supposed to happen.
You like a court order.
I literally gave you a court order. So what does that mean? Okay, and?
Cynthia, go.
I literally gave you like a court order.
But did you? Like, Cindy's so dumb that I find it hard to believe her if she actually, like, got a court order. Or if she just sent her a piece of paper with "Gimme my cat back" written on it, and she thinks that's a court order. I'm not saying Cindy should call the cops. I'm saying that if they call the cops, that would be the best outcome for Cindy. That Cindy could just talk to the father and try to work things out that way. She didn't even try. She's not even trying that. Yeah, excuse me, she said the law wasn't helping her, yet she has a court order. That's what I'm saying, Laka. That's why I'm saying that her word for things is just not trustworthy.
Okay, and?
But if that's... I like that the implication there is that she says, you have a, like... That's like someone saying, we have a warrant for your arrest, and you saying, okay, and. Okay, and? This isn't Twitter, Izzy.
Go. Before I call the cops.
Go on. Shoot. Shoot. Go. Shoot. Go on.
I cannot believe you.
Okay, until 911.
They've
go.
actually...
Get. Go.
Fuck you.
Oh my god, she actually did it. She actually did the thing I was just joking about. Go. Get. Shoo. Go. She said get.
Go. Just go. Just go.
Fuck you.
And thank you.
You have until the 25th.
And she left? She left? She said fuck you and left? Get the cops, what is she doing? She has no reason to leave. Now, like, she posted this video a day ago. But if they had a court order that was until the 25th, then shouldn't she have her cat back?
You have until the 20th before, and I...
How is she losing connection on a recording? It's in a Discord call? This is so dumb. What the fuck do you want from this video? These people aren't gonna help you. Like, nobody that you're showing this video to is gonna help you find your cat. She is hoping to put social pressure to get the cat back. The issue is I don't think anyone wants to help a groomer get their pet back. Exactly. This is not gonna do anything for her. Oh, there she is. Kind of. There she is. Macy, don't do that. Give her privacy. Yeah, okay. I'll wait till she's done. Alright, so this is Izzy on December 5th. I'm sorry if you can't read this very well, but neither can I. These past few days, I've learned a lot about Jack, and who Jack is as a person, but I do think that his audience or people who know him should know a bit about him as a person. I feel like a lot of them do, and they just don't care. I did consider myself a friend of his, but with so much that has drawn my attention, his behavior, his past, and even present, I don't know how much longer I can steady myself. He said he changed, plus now that he's stable, he can handle it. He's just proved me right and him wrong. With how he's handled this, I don't think he's ready to be back online. Wish I noticed this from the start, and that was my fault. Better late than never, I suppose. I wish I noticed earlier that he wasn't ready to be back online. Then why were you guys, like, spending months protecting him? Before I end this, Ara wanted to add this little tidbit. Quote, I want to make it clear that I was never a Birdie defender. What? Then who are you? Wasn't Ara also a person that Birdie was living with? I think it's someone... Yeah, if you allowed them to stay in your house, you've defended them. Because obviously you would support them if you would allow them to live in your house. Oh, I got so much to the point where Jack cannot cover his tracks. If he points and blames people that are around me, like Laurel, me, Ara, and Jane Doe, I got recipes. Thumbs up emoji. I'll be clear about this, because Jack keeps thinking I am. I'm not afraid of him. I'm worried for him. From all the suicide threats he makes, I had to walk on eggshells around him. Now I don't have to anymore. Well, something I guess you kind of have to learn is that if someone is constantly making suicide threats whenever they're upset with you, or upset about anything, or you make them upset, or you do something to like anger them and they're always threatening suicide, they're probably not gonna commit suicide. Psychiatric help should be mandatory for this entire group. But do we really want to pay the tax dollars for that? The time is right, so now me and Ara are gonna write a doc. Oh boy. And even post a video about this situation. Hopefully it'll be able to reach Jack's audience so they know who Jack is as a person. There is a lot, and a lot that has gone over just last night. And I can say this, he's not in our state anymore, we kicked him out. Jack asked for so much too. It was an extremely weird and Cinny really mothered him. My sister in Christ. It wasn't just Cinny, it was all of you. You were all babying the shit out of Birdie, and now you're paying the consequences for it.
Oh, miss you stretching.
She's so cute. I heard that Izzy is planning on renaming the cat Latte. She didn't get used to the name Skirp. I mean, what cat would? It could just be ignoring her. She's also a stranger to the cat still, because it's... I mean, that's also the thing. It's like, if other people call my cat's name, she's not gonna listen to them. But if I call her name, obviously she's gonna listen to me, because she knows my voice. And I say her name in a very specific way. I mean, I can prove it.
Mitzi! Who's a good girl? A good girl, I'm so sorry. Yeah?
Just so sleepy.
You're such a sweet thing.
She might leave and come over here because I got her attention. Ara says, alright, hoping everything is squared away by now. We just dealt with Jack. He's moved back home with extended family. We went through personal situations, we got information from previous victims, and Jack's own words on the allegations we're currently hearing. So, that's the most interesting part to me, that he's moved back home with extended family. Oh, you mean the thing he could have done from the very beginning? And the thing that he didn't require 10K to do? That's what I'm thinking, Villa. Like, that should have been the first red flag of their GoFundMe. The premise of the GoFundMe being, Cinny groomed somebody, help me. For all the people that donated and are now feeling like you got scammed, you should feel bad that you got scammed. I would consider taking this as a very hard life lesson to learn. You're probably not going to get that money back, but it's a good life lesson for you to learn that people who make their entire identity online, or even just in real life, being a victim who is just abused by everybody around them, are more than likely going to take advantage of you. Because they have conditioned themselves into believing that because they are a victim of the world and of everybody in it, they are owed what you have. They deserve what you have. They feel justified in using underhanded tactics to get what they feel that they deserve. That is why you should not be giving your money to people like that. I know Blake has talked to you about this too, but it's impossible to help you when you just guilt trip the people you hurt. It's just not fair, okay? I'm really not trying to. I'm a fundamentally broken person. It's in my nature to be helpless, and I didn't choose this, and I don't want this. I don't want anything. Literally anything at all, except 10K. Anything good or bad. Birdie, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, it's just admittance that this is all just learned helplessness. Which is the most annoying thing in the world to me. Yeah, he's basically saying that, Villa, that it's in his nature to be a pathetic leech. Alright, guess we should, get started. But I've spoken about Miss Queen Izzy, or whatever she goes by these days. But yeah, she has been very active on Twitter, constantly teasing some amazing call-out video about Birdie. But she can't just shut the fuck up and actually work on the video. She has to keep talking about it and teasing it instead of, you know, just fucking working on it. Yeah, we've talked about, you know, Izzy and her friends before. kind of going on a victory lap, essentially, trying to villainize Birdie. I mean, like, it's not that Birdie doesn't deserve it, don't get me wrong. The way that they're going about it leads me to believe that they're mostly trying to salvage themselves. Kind of signal boost to everybody, like, guys, we're not with Birdie anymore. We didn't know anything that Birdie was doing, and we're not bad people. Don't worry, we're not enablers. Trust me. We just had no idea how bad Birdie was, and Birdie was just so awful to us and everything. If you guys remember that recording that was uploaded first to Kiwi Farms and then it was uploaded by Cash to YouTube, where it was a recording of Birdie and his friends basically reveling in the ashes of Synny's downfall, patting themselves on the ass and shit like that. They're wanting that video to disappear. Instead of targeting Synny, they're targeting the person that uploaded it to YouTube, which is Cash, or otherwise known as Metapome. Cash got a DM from someone called a Prince in White, which I assume is one of the people from this video. I think from what Izzy says later, it's someone named Ara? This video you posted needs to be taken— wait, we need better music for this. Hold on. Here we go. So dumb. This video you posted needs to be taken down. You knowingly failed to censor identifying information and posted an illegally obtained recording that was stolen and distributed with malicious intent as retaliation. Now, technically he's right. This recording was illicitly received and then posted on the internet. So they're not wrong about that. However, the person responsible wouldn't be the person that found it on Kiwi Farms and then posted it to YouTube. It would be the person that got it illicitly and shared it in the first place, which would be Synny. Yeah, Synny was the one who leaked the video call, and the reason being, for those who don't know, Synny, with the help of Kumo and Goblin, hacked into Birdie's Discord account and got this recording from one of their group chats. We thought it was going to be a short record of what we knew, but that clearly didn't happen, and we had decided by the end of it that it would not leave the room. The comment section is full of comments believing we still think this, calling us 12-year-old with care. What? And saying, I know how that room smells. Oh, how tragic. People are insulting you. You posted this video because you were bored, and it has led people trying to find us, find our workplace, and it only functions as disinformation. How is it disinformation if it's what you said? We realized very quickly after that we went way off topic and into disrespectful, but you guys still kept the recording and shared it amongst each other, indicating in some way that at least one of you guys, even if it was just Jack, was proud of the recording. And maybe you guys should have had some kind of in-depth discussion about that. But in any case, yeah, it's Synny's fault for, like, committing a crime to get this recording illegally and then spread it around. However, it is not the fault of the people who found this recording publicly and then put it onto another public platform. That's not the person that you should be going after. So Cash responds, you know this recording has been on Kiwi Farm since October of last year. It's been public, you know. Doesn't matter. You don't have permission to post it from any of us. Well, neither did Kiwi Farms. I'm already seeking a lawyer for a number of the things Cynthia has done, and that recording is on the list. So, an attempt at legal intimidation, alright, towards Cash. I see Kiwi Farms as a self-contained cesspit. I don't notice if anyone has crossed platforms. The problem is you chose not to censor anything and posted it on YouTube months after we decided it shouldn't see the light of day. Not even Jack would post it, and Queens turned all permissions off. I think that this is a cop-out, because everybody references Kiwi Farms for their information, especially when it comes to lolcows of this caliber. Birdie's a pretty notable lolcow on Kiwi Farms, and most of the information that people have gotten about Birdie has come from Kiwi Farms. So I don't know what this person's talking about, like that there's no, like, crossover between Kiwi Farms and YouTube. There's tons, dude. What are you talking about? I think the real reason is that they know that they would not be able to intimidate Kiwi Farms into taking anything down, and so they tried to go this route of trying to intimidate someone that they thought would be, like, weaker and more impressionable, right? Because this is what they're used to doing. They're used to throwing their weight around and just, like, intimidating people into doing what they want with, like, passive aggression. But no, what Cash is doing is not illegal. What she's doing is just reposting an already publicly accessible video onto another public platform. There's nothing illegal about that. It has let people trying to find us find our workplace, and it only functions as disinformation. First of all, you would have to prove that this video specifically was leading people to try and find you. I think the only reason they want this video to be taken down is because it makes them look bad. People are guessing where we worked because you failed to censor everything that needed to be censored. No one has legal access to that recording. Legal access, okay? It's a public video now. I'm sorry. If it really was the censoring that was the biggest issue with these videos being up, then that would raise a couple of questions with this following screenshot, right? What needed to be censored? Please provide a list if it's important stuff. I'm not asking you to censor. I'm telling you to take the video down entirely. So, okay, so then it's not about uncensored information then. We had no choice in being advertised this way. Well, maybe you should have made better life choices. I don't know. Pick your friends better in the future? Conduct yourself better in the future? It's not your recording to put out. I don't care if you found it on Kiwi Farms. I'm telling you now that no one gave any consent to it being put out in whole or in part. This is quite seriously illegal to have. This is illegal, you know. The only answer I have for you is lawyer up or shut the fuck up. Like, sure, it sucks that you had a recording of you guys being petty, like, immature assholes being posted onto the internet, but it's not Cash's fault, and it's not Kiwi Farm's fault. They were given the information by someone who had access to it, even if it's illicit access, and it was made public through a third party. And at this point, trying to suppress it and sending out really thinly veiled threats, like legal threats, to have it taken down, like, at this point, you're just gonna invoke the Streisand effect, which is what happened with me, because now I'm, like, insanely more curious to know what is, like, being said in this video recording. This is just one of those things that you're gonna have to deal with now as a consequence for your own enabling of Birdie's behavior. Guess who reached out to Cash? That's right, Izzy. And I believe this was this morning, right? Cue the music, again. Hi, so I'm so sorry to bother you, but I was also wondering if you could take down the video. As Ara did say, it does contain sensitive info that could lead to people tracking us down, especially to Synny. It's being on YouTube has a bigger reach than it being on YouTube. Which, okay, I think they meant to say Kiwi Farms. Ara is, like, extremely uncomfortable and paranoid with it being out there. While it does show who Jack was as a person on that recording, almost everyone that Jack knows has been exposing him, so that private conversation that I recorded has no need to be out there. That recording was meant to be as a, note-taking. And while I wish I acted more maturely in that, what's done is done, and I'll try my best moving forward. Maybe if I talk cutely, they'll do what I say, yeah. I understand that it shows us being, like, brats in this, and I didn't understand the severity of this whole situation. Of, like, both Jack and Synny during then, but I have now, since late November, even before this video has come out, I've understood some of the extremities that Jack has done. This recording only got leaked by Synny, and Ara wants to pursue a legal case against her, yeah. It just takes time, which we're very busy with school and whatnot. Theirs is way more than Synny leaked out, but this recording is the one that circulates around. Anyway, sorry for sidetracking, but if possible, could you delete the video? Well, yes, it's on Kiwi Farms. They, one, usually stick to themselves, and two, there's so much horrible stuff on Kiwi Farms that shouldn't be posted around anyway, like CP. So, just cause it's on there doesn't mean it gets promoted, if that's the right word, around. Apologies if some of my wording doesn't make sense. I kind of woke up a bit ago. Prayer emoji. I'm just so cutesy and I'm just trying to be so nice. If you guys could just tell me what is the sensitive info, I could just censor it, and y'all aren't even telling me what laws I've broken. No offense, but Ara seems like they were trying to intimidate me with the lawyers because people were making fun of y'all. I know this is what they're mainly mad about because that is the first thing they complained about when DMing me. I could be misinterpreting that though, it's just how it looks to me. No, don't worry, it's not what you did was illegal, but what Synny did. She obtained that illegally and started sharing it with others who then posted it to Kiwi Farms, etc. You posting it wasn't illegal per se, but having it when it was obtained illegally is, you know, if that makes sense. If it was just me and Jack, then I would be fine with it being out there, but my two other friends got dragged along into this crap hole because of me and Jack, which puts them at big risks too. Frowny face. Ara's planning on going after Synny for leaking it out there, so that would mean you'd get caught up in the legal battle. Indirectly, but yeah, no. This part sticks out to me because it's definitely like a threat. You know, very disguised in cutesy uwu talk. From what I understand about legal matters like this, and I'm no lawyer, I'm not even an expert, I just know just through osmosis from being on the internet for as long as I have. The only answer Cash really has to give is like, alright, send a cease and desist, get a lawyer, or stop bugging me, you know? People instinctively are gonna rally behind that, because if there's one thing that especially the commentary community really value, it's freedom of speech and freedom of information. The information that's apparently in this video is just a first name and the store chain that they work at, which is a Walmart. It doesn't say what specific Walmart it is. It just mentions a Walmart that one of them works at. That's it, as far as I understand. Now, there could be more, but I haven't heard it myself, and now I want to. If the sensitive info is Ara's real name, then just tell me that. Dancing around how it's somehow my fault for other people's bad actions when I've already done my due diligence in making sure there wasn't anything too identifiable in said recording. Oh, sorry. I wasn't talking about how I was the one recording, or that it's my recording, but the fact that Synny even has the recording, you know? A butterfly effect of sorts. We're just starting to get a lawyer against Synny, so yeah. He's just pretty paranoid about the whole thing, especially since Jack's situation is unfortunately still happening. If I had to say what has to be censored, it would have to be Ara's name and when we talk about the workplace. But I know that Ara most definitely doesn't want this out there, especially since I wasn't the one who posted it. It was Synny's fault. Sorry about this whole situation. It's Synny's fault for even starting it. I feel awful to Eno and Korea. Can't spell. Pewy and more I don't know. They're the ones who got traumatized the most for Synny's situation. Well, who the fuck else got traumatized the most? Me! If there's anyone else that got traumatized from this Synny situation, it's me for having to read that fucking comic. And all I can do is hope and wish them the best on their journey of recovery. Sad emoji, prayer emoji, hugging emoji. That information is kind of said in other places already. Like before the video recording even came out, that information was already in the group chat. It was already in Synny's DMs with at least Kumo. I know that. Because I recall her talking about it in there somewhere. Like, a lot of this stuff is already public information. It wasn't made public exclusively through this video. But again, thank you. So are you gonna watch the recording? I guess I'm gonna have to. Now I have to. Because now I'm intrigued. I didn't give a shit before, but now I do. If they wanted this to be hidden, and they don't want people sharing it around in a public forum, then why... Wait, hold on. Dramatic pause. Why Izzy reposted this video to her Twitter? back on January 15th. I do want to say this about this video that's out there, linked. Oh god. I'm not going to hide this video, and I want to apologize. While I have been commenting on this video since it's been out and have apologized beforehand, I also want to make an apology, an official apology on Twitter. Looking back, I'm ashamed of my actions. This recording was made at the start of the whole drama, literally a day after Jack's video about Synny went up. I made this recording about Synny herself, and not just about her grooming. Me, Ara, and others found out more about who Synny was as a person from Jack, so I started this recording as a way to keep track of things. It was meant to be a lighthearted recording, but I've since learned that this situation calls for a more serious tone. Going forward, I hope I can maturely talk about this whole situation, which is what it needs. I'm sorry to everyone that has been a victim to either Synny or Jack, to thoughts and prayers. Don't you think Ara would have taken umbrage with, Izzy, like, reposting this recording? I don't know, it seems to me like only because it's now getting negative attention, that's when they start to regret it. As you can see, I got 11 minutes into the recording before I said no. And we're probably not even gonna do this entire thing. Because I'm late to the party, it's not even really relevant anymore, but I kind of want to just skim it and find out, like, what it is that they probably don't want people to hear them saying.
Yeah, and then the truth is, I was paying rent every single month. I can show receipts on the screen to show that, like, I have sent.
You hear what Birdie said just then? They were like, I can show receipts on the screen. What screen is Birdie referring to if this is just meant to be like a note-taking thing just for them to keep track of things? It almost sounds like this was this was like gonna be some kind of podcast that they were putting together to post publicly. They were gonna make a Patreon for bloopers. They said it in the video. So this was gonna be like a paid thing.
And the thing is, rent was around $900, but I get paid $900 every month, so I couldn't cover all of it. So always, no matter what, I was not able to pay all of rent. But every month she would ask.
So then you weren't paying your part of the rent.
I did so much for her. I helped pay for her gas.
I'm sure you did. I did so much for her.
Like, almost all the time at first. I cooked her dinner. Like, okay, this was when we first moved in. I stopped doing most of this because it was taking a strain on, like, it was taking a toll on my body because I've got...
Cooking and paying for the gas was taking a toll on your body.
But, I would cook dinner for her every night when she got home from work.
Okay, but, like, that's just you doing your share, Birdie. Do you not understand that? That's just you doing your lion's share of the work.
She spent so much of her money on, like, candy and...
Yeah, she's allowed to do that, you know, Birdie. I know you would rather that Synny spent more of her money on you and your fucking My Little Pony plushies. But we all can't have what we want, can we? That was my money! You were supposed to be saving up my money, Synny!
Every week she would go out and get, like, donuts and food and shit, like fat...
Yeah, what is up with all these people wanting Birdie to live with them? Aw, man.
I bought her, like, gifts. I paid for a lot of the groceries.
Why are you buying her gifts if you're both trying to save money? That doesn't make any sense.
Like, she probably didn't want me to leave because she's useless without me.
I mean, well, I don't know if that's true. I think Synny's doing perfectly fine without you, Birdie.
Yeah, I mentioned gas, but I was a great friend to her.
Uh-huh.
She didn't deserve me at all.
Literally.
This is really self-absorbed.
She does not.
I was the best friend anyone could possibly ask for.
I did the bare minimum. I'm such a good friend.
This literally came up because I'm trying to help find Jack. Jack find like
You couldn't remember Jack's name? What?
a rent with one of my friends, other friends as well.
Yeah,
and I was like kind of like saying passively like, oh, hopefully you'll be able to pay the rent for this and whatnot. And he said, of course I'll pay the rent and stuff like that. And
yeah, I'm a good boy.
Exactly.
I'm a good boy. She was lying.
That's their proof that Birdie is a good friend and like makes good on their promises, because they said that they would pay their own rent for their own place. We were trying to find a place for Jack to live, And Jack said that he would pay his own rent. How amazing is that? That's so stupid. That's the best you got?
Literally. So, okay, here's what she said. She's literally like, Jack...
Like, I don't know if that's part of her script for you.
Oh,
I saw her script.
I was going to
I
make
saw
yeah,
her script.
that.
Wait, what? Wait, sorry, what about a script? They made scripts for this? So it wasn't just some off-the-cuff thing that you guys had no plans for and decided that you didn't know what direction it was gonna go in? Wait a minute. What's that about a script?
So she goes, my life is ruined. It's all over. And Sauce goes, what
Me when my life is over. Ave Maria.
happened?
I want you guys to know that, like, our house is littered with expired food that she never ate that she won't throw away.
Oh, I was.
But what about you? Why couldn't you eat them? Were you too busy going out to eat fast food and Uber Eats that you couldn't eat the food that was gonna go expired? If you guys have fresh food in the house, and you're like, oh shit, I don't want this to go expired, then eat the food. Eat the fucking food.
Guys, you gotta hear about the milkshake incident.
Ugh.
Okay.
Please, go on about the milkshake incident.
While we were cleaning out our fridge, she got the blender with the milkshake in it out, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna dump this down the sink and then clean the blender. And I was like, okay. And she left it on the counter for like 5 months.
But then you also left it on the counter for 5 months. You were, I'm sure within those 5 months, you were in the kitchen many, many times.
You just throw it the fuck away. She wanted to save it. I had to talk her out of
I don't believe that. I don't believe that for a second that she wanted to save it for 5 months sitting on the counter. I find it very hard to believe that Cindy was so emotionally attached to this fucking milkshake cup that she was arguing with her over getting rid of it. I find this very hard to believe.
She was so irresponsible, and I did everything for her.
You notice how he keeps repeating that? I did everything for her. I did so much for her. I did everything for her. Indication of dishonesty is when you have to repeat yourself over and over and over and over. Because you want your lie to be believed. Not just by everyone around you, but to yourself as well.
If you need us to re-record any section.
Of course.
If you need us to re-record anything, we'll do it. Absolutely. This really doesn't sound like the kind of talk where they're like, maybe this should stay here. Not yet, but who knows, maybe the atmosphere changes towards the end of this recording, we'll see. But they also were recording this with the intention of it going somewhere and being shown publicly.
But like, hearing all this extra shit, I'm like, okay.
I'm so funny.
We'll get doxxed for this. But people will know.
Actually, luckily you...
Wait, what? I'm genuinely worried, but like hearing all of this extra shit, I'm like, okay, we'll get doxxed for this, but people will know. What does that mean? Hold on. And this is Ara saying this stuff, by the way, which is important because this is the same person that was going into Cash's DMs being like, this is illegal! We need to have this down!
And also, if I didn't say anything, this still would have came out very soon. Like, this is an open secret. This is a public issue.
So if the Neko...
It's a public issue. That's what this recording is. It's a matter of public issue. What a hero, I know.
Especially her fans. She goes after her fans and befriends them so
Literally,
she can be sexual with them.
I don't
She
care.
explains that. She says she's hypersexual, but yes.
Not an excuse. We don't know how she could reach a thought process where she could possibly think that this is okay.
Then what's your excuse, Birdie?
I don't care. I will sit there and go, okay, cool. And, she goes off and talks to fucking minors.
Should we just go to the next timestamp?
Cindy's not gonna reach out to NO, but they're not gonna block NO. So NO can reach out to Cinny.
That's
if
like
they
what
need
Bojack did when he left the door open for, like, Penny. In fact, oh my god, I just remembered something hilarious.
Alright, lay it on us, Birdie.
She was, like, trying to guilt trip me one night, and she went up to me, and she was like, this is like a Bojack Horseman scenario, and my first thought was like, yeah, and you're Bojack, like, I don't feel bad for you. But I didn't say that out loud, because I was still living with her.
Oh my god, thumbnail idea.
Oh my god. Thumbnail idea. I hate these people so much.
Ask for her spare key. Yeah, no, ask for the spare key so you can watch the cat.
Ask for her spare key so you can watch the cat.
Listen, stupid is
Let me
there,
speak!
and Cindy's not feeding the cats.
That's
How do you know if you're not there?
We can't take
AKA steal the cat.
Stupid. We have to give her to the shelter, unfortunately.
I know.
Back up. Back up.
Yeah, that's the thing. We can't take Stupid. We have to give her to the shelter, unfortunately.
You hear that? Izzy, let's steal Cinny's cat and send that cat to the shelter, where it's very common for cats to become very stressed and overcrowded and sick and put down because they can't get adopted. The good old bleeding heart Izzy wants to send a cat that is doing perfectly fine under Cinny's care, with no signs of neglect or abuse, just steal the cat, drop it off at a shelter. Wow, what great people these are. Yeah, good night, everybody! I wonder why they don't want this video to be seen anymore. Fucking monsters these people are. Yeah, it's very unfortunate. But we're good people. We're good people, by the way.
That Stupid would be okay without me, but Squirp wouldn't be, so I had to take Squirp.
Ah, yes. I have a feeling that Stupid, the cat we named Stupid because we love and care for the cat oh so much. Yeah, Stupid is gonna be just fine in a shelter. But Skirp, oh no, the one that I named just a couple of letters and I didn't give much thought into their name because I cared that little about them. No, I couldn't leave them behind, but Stupid can kiss my ass.
She's very shy. She does not do good around other cats.
She's kind of like Ginger, but kind of.
But she does fine with Stupid, obviously. Break them up with the one and only cat that they clearly get along with. Genius.
Like, yeah.
That's not gonna be.
But
What happened to Stupid? As far as I know, Stupid still lives with Cinny.
she is very
But,
well
like,
behaved. She doesn't rip anything up. She's a good
That's
kitty.
the thing I thought with Andromeda too. That's the thing I
Like,
thought with
Stupid,
Andromeda.
I
At
could.
first.
Andromeda. Okay, there's the low end of the spectrum, where the cat's name is completely disrespectful and, and demeaning. And then there's the other end of the spectrum where the name is just entirely pretentious. Come here, Andromeda. Come here, girl. Who's a good girl, Andromeda? It just rolls off the tongue. Vlad. Here, kitty kitty. That's a good Dragon Age Veilguard. If this climb up the hill kills me, I am going to be so pissed, because I am on my last life. By scaling up and down mountains in a way that you're not supposed to, you can risk... You guys want to watch carpet cleaning? Let's do carpet cleaning. Fuck it. No one ever does carpet cleaning.
And I haven't seen Enno's doc, but, like, if you guys want to find...
You haven't even seen the doc yet? You haven't even seen the doc, but you decided to make your video anyway. So the whole premise of the reason why Birdie, went and started begging for $11,000 is just completely out the window. That's probably Birdie's carpet.
Find proof of her saying these words, horny, spank, they're probably there.
We could ask Anna for those things. Too.
Yeah, literally.
Why? Don't go talking to the minor. Leave the minor alone.
People who looked at the doc, tell me if she's used the word, spank and...
Why don't you just look at the doc yourself? You lazy fuck, is your heart condition blocking you from being able to look at it? Oh, right, because it just makes her so sick. It makes her so sick to even look at.
Her crush is, beating up people.
Oh my goodness.
She would make in detail comics about it, including the rape stuff. It played into the rape stuff.
And this wasn't ever an issue for you until just now.
What is with her?
Oh my god, that's so weird! But we were okay with it until just now.
It's fucking evil. I don't know.
I've never met
I don't know. I guess she's just evil. Oh god.
I want to make it clear, hypersexuality can result in, a rape fetish, but you keep
Yeah, and you're a professional? Yeah?
that to yourself.
Keep it to your.
Yeah, do you keep your weird Yuri-esque cutting fetishes to yourself? No, you sure don't.
Oh,
God, they really do just all talk like middle schoolers. It's so obnoxious.
Cherry Story, keep supporting the other victims, keep supporting me.
I like how Birdie had to include himself in there. Guys, be sure to keep supporting the victims. Keep supporting me, okay? Don't forget. Support me, okay? I'm important here. Cinny nor Birdie should have adopted cats. I agree with you. But to talk so flippantly about uprooting a cat from a home that they are seemingly doing fine in, just to toss it into a shelter For no other reason other than you hate Synny is fucking heartless. Because of this video and seeing this video, I see you in a much, much worse light now than I ever did before. And guess what? I wouldn't have gone back to look at this video if you all weren't trying to intimidate someone into taking it down. So, good job with the Streisand effect, you fucking losers.
Thanks to all of the support, I will be safe.
And he still will need more support. That's the
Guys, give Birdie more money. You heard it first from Izzy, the person that is outing Birdie for misusing all their funds. Oh my god, they are so annoying.
Queen brought me over without her mom even knowing, but she found me yesterday, but everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
So she grabbed Birdie and just moved Birdie into her place without her parents' knowledge or consent of this happening. I'm sure that her parents were the ones who had to take the burden for most of the stuff that they're talking about. When Izzy says, like, look at all these horrible things Birdie did while living with me, it's probably her parents that had to deal with most of it. Jesus Christ. These parents, they've fucked up somewhere. It's good they got backlash from this call. I don't think they've gotten enough. I would not be surprised if there were people that came around later down the line making exposed documents and exposed videos on Izzy and Ara and this other person who I don't know in the call. I would not be surprised because, like I said earlier, this shit is a cycle. We were talking in the Discord a bit about the thing that happened with Izzy. The girl who keeps saying that she's gonna make like an expose video on Birdie, but then never does. So, Queen said this yesterday on the 30th of March. She should have waited to say this on April 1st. Then she could have said it was an April Fool's joke if it wasn't received well. TLDR, I'm gonna be a bitch, but that's on him for accidentally sending me too much money by not getting it right the first time. This is just me reporting on the situation first, so if Jack says anything about this, you can refer back here. Basically just covering her ass, I guess. So what this is about is that apparently they had agreed for Jack to send her 1.2k. I don't know what it was for, but that seems to have been like the agreement. And I guess they were doing it through PayPal, and the first payment was like stuck in pending or some shit. And they were like, oh, it's not going through, and so Jack tried sending it through a different bank account, and then that worked, and then later the original 1.2k made it through, essentially giving her 2.4k instead of the original 1.2k. Alright, you following? And so she is saying here that she's deciding, or at least she did, decide to keep it. I know the most reasonable and mature thing of me to do is to send it back, but also, I never said I would. So that's where me being a bitch is going into play. Anyway, I've been ignoring Jack's few attempts 3 times to ask me for his money back. I have no reason to contact him anymore, I mean, except to, you know, give him the money back. And I only noticed by chance that he even texted me because I have him muted. Anyway, since he's since tried to go through PayPal using the opinion of someone made this purchase without his consent, which is odd. And so she sends a screenshot that says, your sender reported that someone made this transaction without their permission, which is technically true. Anyway, we'll see what happens. If I have to refund it, I'll refund it. I mean, you kinda have to. But if I don't, then I'll keep it. I never said to Jack I would refund the extra money he sent, because I didn't even expect it to go through anyway. That's kind of the point. That's why you have to send it back. Because it was not part of the agreement. And like, this seems to be completely unprompted from Izzy. Like, there's no reason for her to suddenly, like, be like, oh, by the way, guys, I'm committing wire fraud, and I don't care. I'm a bad bitch. Like, okay? Sorry for the constant Jack updates. I just want my voice out there before his. So, I guess her motivation, because if Jack is like, well, I'm gonna report this because you're stealing money from me, then Izzy's first decision was not to give the money back, but to run to Twitter to tell everybody to get ahead of Jack, just in case Jack goes to Twitter to tell people about it. Hopefully I wanted to talk about this, unless Jack wants to keep being a pesky fly. Oh, that pesky legal dispute where I legally have to give him his money back that I stole. This person says, I mean, it'll be a crime to keep that extra money. Queen responds with, that depends. Guys, the law is subjective. Depends, as the first time Jack sent it, we both didn't expect it to go through. That means it's an accident. Like, think of it this way, if this logic can't apply to your workplace, it probably can't apply here either. But I never said I would refund it. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Which is a bitch move on my end, and illegal. But oh well, 2.4k is a lot of money, which would help me be able to move out. No, it wouldn't. No, it fucking wouldn't. And college is expensive at the bottom there. I mean, fair enough, but you still have to give back the money, even if you need it. So there was obviously a lot of back and forth. Even a lot of Izzy's followers were saying, hey, this is dumb. You need to return that money. Like, we all hate Birdie here, but you gotta return it. So, like, I'm not expecting this to be the case, but it's always possible, because we don't have all the information. But it is possible that Izzy did get the first payment, and then lied and said that it didn't go through. It's possible, I don't know. I doubt it. I think that they're both just retarded and she let her greed get the best of her. She's kind of sitting here being like, I know this makes me a bad person and all that, but I just need the money, and also Jack sucks, so it's okay. There seems to be a pattern with her and her friends being like, well, it's okay to do illegal and immoral things to people that we deem bad. And don't get me wrong, Jack and Synni are both deplorable people. But that's no excuse for them also doing deplorable things. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if she expected to write this and everybody would just, and all of her fans would have just been like, Yas, queen. Yas, queen, get that bag. Jack is horrible anyway, we hate him. Go slay, queen, slay. Update on the money. TLDR, I will refund it after reading all the worries and criticisms of me. It was stupid, and I thank you for calling me out. Bowing emoji. I want to say thank you to everyone who gave me good reasons. I mean, there was only one reason, and that was it's a crime to keep it, but whatever. I knew this was stupid, but in my greed and worry, I kept his money. I will return it after reading your guys' concern and criticism. It was stupid of me to keep it. It was. It was even more stupid for you to try and double down on it. I don't want to sink to his level. Why stop now? You've already sunk to his level, Izzy! Well, you guys are sitting at Bach-Rodham. I don't want to sink to his level. Girl, you stole somebody's cat! And when they tried to come to your house to be like, give me my cat back, you went, actually, it's my cat now. I've decided that it's my cat. Only because of Synni's sheer stupidity and social ineptitude were you able to keep that cat. Alright? That was the only reason, not because it was rightfully yours. Or because you got it through any legitimate means, but because Synni is so mind-numbingly stupid and a pushover and didn't give a shit about the cat that you were able to keep the cat. That's the only reason. Thank you guys so much for the good criticisms and for knocking my senses back into me. My greed and worry for the future. My worry for the future. You live with your parents. You're fine. After all, hard work can make the dream work, and I'll find other ways to make up the money somehow. So still kind of going the route of like, okay, I guess I'll try to make ends meet some other way, guys. I'll just be poor and destitute until then, because I can't have money from a degenerate freak abuser like Jack. I guess everybody likes Jack now, huh? I'm so sorry you guys had to deal with an idiot. This goes a little bit farther than stupidity and ignorance. Like, I'm not gonna, like, moral frog, right? But, like, the moral compass here is clearly askew. Like, if she can't even fathom... If you know you're knowingly stealing money from somebody, and you're just gonna... and you're able to just sleep at night with that knowledge, I don't know. It doesn't matter my age, as anyone and everyone can be stupid. 20 years of being alive doesn't make you smarter. Just wiser in some aspects. What are you wise in, Izzy? I don't see any wisdom coming out of this thick skull of yours. I'll also provide screenshots when I can to show you that I did it. I just had problems with my old PayPal because the younger me put in a fake name. Yay! Again, thank you guys for being patient with me. I understand why people won't support me after this, and I don't blame them. I am stupid, and I will keep doing stupid things. I just hope it won't be to this level of stupidity again. Knowing you, Izzy, it likely will. We are cringing at Queen today. Yep, Queen's back. And as usual, it comes with no Birdie video, like she said that there would be. Instead, there's plenty of other drama surrounding Queen. So, surprising news coming from there. Apparently the cat is back with Synny. I don't know when this happened, or how long ago, or why, even. All I know is that it happened, I guess. Speaking of Birdie, because we're talking about extended Birdie drama, it's barely even about Birdie at this point. It's more between this Izzy person and Synny. My Birdie video keeps getting views. It's not even that great of a video, to be honest. I think the biggest reason it's still getting views is because there's so many troglodytes that keep coming to the video to comment the same exact thing. Comment after comment after comment, everyone's like, you misgendered Birdie! It goes by he/it! Listen, I don't give a fuck, okay? I already called Birdie by him, he, or whatever. I don't care. I can't go back and change it on a pre-recorded live stream, on a pre-recorded video. In fact, I'm pretty sure that the interjection I made in between that supercut, where I was adding some extra little tidbits of stuff that I recalled after the fact during editing, I was referring to him as he, him, so I don't know. Anyway, guys, please keep telling me that Birdie goes by he, him, or it, its, or whatever. Please keep telling me. It boosts the audience retention or whatever, engagement. It will change eventually, guys. The video will change. It might just take one more comment, and the pronouns in the video will change. I promise. It will happen. So, the cycle continues. This document is calling out Dorothy, also known as Queen the 14th on Twitter, also known as Izzy, I just call her Izzy, for both her recent and past behavior, as well as addressing the entire situation involving Synny's cat, because we're talking about the cat again. Okay. Well, I guess technically you can thank Queen for this, but this is not from Queen, this is from someone named Saki, who I believe is one of Synny's... It's like a member of Synny's new friend support group. Which, I'm not gonna judge Saki for that. Everyone needs a support group, everybody needs friends. I'm not exactly sitting here expecting Synny to completely isolate herself from every single human being on the planet just because she did something bad. If you're living on this planet, you gotta have, like, some kind of social life, alright? Okay, it's time we talk about Dorothy, aka Izzy/Queen, and the latte situation again. This has been settled once before, but due to recent events and some resurfaced behavior, I think it's important to lay everything out clearly. If you know, you know. If you don't, here's a TLDR. I've been vocal about not condoning Synny's past actions, so let's get that out of the way first. Yeah, no one expected you to. But today I want to talk about Dorothy, also known as Izzy. Izzy. So why bring it up again? Because even after the issue was settled publicly, there were still unresolved parts of the situation that weren't shared, largely due to the backlash Synny received for speaking out at all, despite clearly explaining that going public was the only option left. Given that neither Jack nor Dorothy were responding to her about Latte's whereabouts, she was still attacked. To make matters, it's probably had something to do with the, grooming thing. During that time, Synny was receiving notifications that her cat was being found, suggesting Latte may have gotten loose, all while getting zero communication from Jack or Dorothy. Eventually, there was an agreement, and I use that term loosely. Dorothy would keep Latte. Synny could visit. Oh good, I'm glad that Synny got visitation rights during this custody battle over the fucking cat. The cat that was stolen, by the way. This was never truly consensual. Dorothy made it clear on a call that no matter what Synny said, she was never giving Latte back. That was the tone. Oh, so was it a tone or a statement? That was the energy. So she may or may not have actually said that. We're just going off of vibes. Synny wasn't okay with this, I can imagine not. but she felt she had no choice because she tried to pursue things legally. I don't fucking know if that's true. Civil court would only reimburse her for Latte's cost, not the cat herself. Like, I don't know if they're even being clear with the court or the police about how all of this is going down. Because the way that Synny and Jack and Izzy, how all of their brains operate, they operate, like, let's be honest, both Synny and Jack are, like, severely retarded and mentally ill. So, if the situation was relayed to the police the way that they both have relayed it to us, in this very disjointed, sort of wishy-washy, like, oh, well, it's her cat now, but it was my cat, but we agreed to give it over, but I also didn't agree to give it over, but it's also my cat, and it's illegal, but it's also not illegal. I probably wouldn't take it very seriously either if I were the police. I would probably just give up and say, hey, figure it out. So I don't know how confidently they've gone to the police and been like, this is my cat, they stole my cat. We know, because we have all of the context surrounding the issue, but I can't expect the police to be able to figure out what the fuck is going on with these two bitches, alright? Civil court would only reimburse her, so she was stuck, and since that agreement, well, it's not like she was stuck from the beginning, it's just that she and her friend group at the time managed the entire situation completely backwards and horribly. Something about a gun, if I remember. Here's why I'm bringing this up now. Dorothy's behavior hasn't improved. If anything, it's raised more red flags. Oh good, I love red flags. Kara's ashes. So if you don't know, Kara is the dead ferret. The ferret died, thank God, it's free now. But they kept the ashes in a box. Birdie brought the ashes with him to Izzy's house when he moved there, and then when he left, he just didn't bring the ashes with him, so that's why the ashes are in this discussion. Jack left behind the ashes of his deceased ferret, Kara. I would assume it's deceased. Dorothy made a public comment, I remember this, considering keeping them because she got attached. And she's used the same reasoning about Latte too, she got attached. I mean, I can understand getting attached to a cat. I can't understand getting attached to someone else's pet's ashes that you have no connection to whatsoever. Yeah, he left Kara here. I found her and brought her inside. So referring to this box of ferret ashes like it's a living creature. I'm sorry, what? You did what? You kept what of your cat in a jar? Sorry. Meta, please rephrase. Rephrase. Vase! Ashes! May she rest in peace. I'm just glad she's not with her abusive family anymore. Hasn't this ferret been dead for a while? Why would you be concerned about a pet's ashes being with an abusive family? Oh yeah, I forgot this part. I'll probably put her next to my dad's ashes. I don't understand why you would put the ferret's ashes on the same level of memoriam, I guess, as your father. I'm assuming biological father's ashes. Question, even if his stuff would be considered lost property if he doesn't get it in time, would he still be able to get the ashes? I know it's none of my business, but frankly it seems a little harsh to deny someone of that importance. I don't think it was that important to him. If it was important to Jack, he would have brought it with him. At this point, I don't care if it seems rude. If Kara was so important to him, he should have immediately asked for her or something. You know? I mean, I kind of agree with her here. He asked for all his stuff back, so I couldn't keep Kara's ashes. Technically. What do you mean, technically? Keeping Kara's ashes is odd. Thank you. Reasonable person. That's just more my feelings on not wanting her to go back to an abusive family. What the fuck are you think they're gonna do? What the fuck do you think they're gonna do with ashes? Are they going to abuse the ashes? I don't want her going back to an abusive family. Bro, she's dead. She's literal ashes. Exactly. Starting to think this bitch is a klepto-degenerate. You know what? You might be onto something. There does seem to be a history of stealing things. This isn't a one-time thing to me. It almost seems like a pattern to me. She gets emotionally attached to things that don't belong to her. Yeah. refuses to return them and only backs down when she's publicly called out. Another situation that Dorothy has recently faced backlash for involves her openly considering stealing $1,200 from Jack and posting about it publicly on Twitter. Yes, this is one that we've gone over. The damage was already done, people saw it, and many have rightly begun to question her integrity and trustworthiness. She has since returned the money to Jack due to the criticism. But the thing is, she probably wouldn't have if people responded to the post differently. You don't deserve it, so it's mine now. That's kind of just the most basic way you can put it, yeah. Alright, DMs with Dorothy. If you've stayed and read this far, thank you for that. You're welcome. So polite of you. And the only time she seems to correct course is when she's publicly held accountable and her image is threatened. I think it comes... Okay, I'm coming back to the theft thing again. Because it is a fascinating subject to me. Or at least like a fascinating point of discussion. Why? It was a very important lesson I had to learn. That you can't just take things because you feel like you deserve it more. Or that you feel entitled to it more than they do. Anyway, the point is I don't think Izzy really got that as a kid. That was my entire point. And I think it leads to this sort of mindset of like, well, I feel entitled to it, why can't I have it? Why can't I have their cat? I would be a better cat owner anyway. I might as well just take the cat. I'll be sharing screenshots of some DMs between me and Dorothy where I confront her about her recent comments regarding Latte's ownership. At this point, Dorothy seems to genuinely believe that Latte is legally her cat, which she is not. Let's be clear, Synni has copies of all the legal documentation proving she is Latte's rightful owner. Jack stole the physical papers and we aren't sure of the whereabouts. Latte is also microchipped under Synni's name and address. And to legally transfer ownership in the state of Missouri, you must complete a formal transition of ownership and update the microchip registration information. So why can't they just not take all this to the police? Probably because they botched it so horribly at the beginning, way back in September. Dorothy's claim that Jack gave her the ownership of the cat, which holds no legal weight, as Jack was never Latte's legal owner. He took both the cat and the ownership papers, which under Missouri law constitutes theft. Dorothy is in possession of stolen property, a serious legal issue. Hey Izzy, I need to discuss something important with you as soon as possible. It's regarding to Latte, and I believe we need to revisit this matter urgently. Please let me know when you are available to talk. Hi, I'm at work currently, but I'm on break for about 5 more minutes. What's up? Did I do anything wrong? Always a great way to open up any conversation with anyone. That's definitely not a guilty conscience right there. I'm coming to you instead of Synni because I can't bear to see or hear it anymore. So I'm coming to you directly without Synni knowing. Synni is very unhappy with the situation. So Synni's solution to the problem has just been complaining to people, hoping that somebody else will solve the problem for her. She wants to see her cat, and I understand you being busy or not having the time to let her visit, but I cannot just force my schedule to be free just because Synni wants to see Latte. In parentheses, who's not her cat anymore. Visitation for a cat is kind of weird, yeah. Yes, because legally it's still her cat, and that's the main thing I'm here for. Because you know she still cares about the cat and is very much still her cat. The only reason you're taking care of the cat is because you refuse to return it, no matter what she would have said back then, and that doesn't sit right with me. In response to probably Synni saying my cat, Izzy said, your cat? She's sadly not your cat anymore, because if anything, she's my mom's cat now. I just want to point out that I watched the recording of the call after this conversation, and there wasn't even a verbal mention of any ownership transfer. Well, I guess we just kind of have to take your word for it, because I don't know what call you're talking about. You said yourself the only way Synni could get Latte back is through legal measures, which both of you didn't want. I'm sorry, but she can't take Latte back. You need to sign a legal document, and what you said and Jack did was a felony. Huh? What? Theft is a felony? We're all the way in March at this point? And she still can't comprehend that what she did was theft? I talked to the city prosecutor, and what he said was final. Are you sure the city prosecutor wasn't just giving his opinion in case something went legal? It is stated that to transfer ownership in the state of Missouri, you need to sign a formula.
Sorry.
sorry. I shouldn't. This person's English is probably like her second language, so. I'm sorry, but that whole situation is over now, and Cindy even said that I would have this cat. Because she had no choice. Okay, so Saki is sort of acknowledging here that there was some form of verbal agreement between Cinny and Izzy. If there is verbal agreement of Cinny acknowledging that Izzy can have the cat, maybe with some stipulations here and there, like as long as I can visit the cat, whatever, that would actually be able to hold up in court, potentially. I mean, I watch a lot of Judge Judy, okay, so I know what I'm talking about, clearly. But as far as when it comes to small court issues like this, even when it comes to things like furniture, electronics, if there is any form of tangible verbal agreement that you are giving something to someone else, it becomes theirs, even if it's not a formal legal document. It could be a text message, you know, or both parties agreeing, well, yeah, I said that they could have this thing, but we never got it in writing. That is still a verbal agreement. I am not a legal professional, okay? I could be totally wrong. But here's the thing, Ren, she should have gotten that legal intervention way back in September. Instead, Cinny was so hellbent on trying to clear her name on the internet first, instead of trying to get her cat back, which should have been her #1 priority, and it wasn't. You didn't want to return it, no matter what we would have said. Yeah, exactly. You said it yourself, you are putting your personal feelings in it, just like with Kara's ashes. What? Yeah, and I'm returning Kara's ashes, but only after it got backlash, but whatever. 'Cause those are Jack's. Wait a minute. So why aren't you returning the cat to Jack? Wasn't the whole justification of you stealing Latte in the first place is because you bought this cat for Jack? The cat belongs to Jack. It's Jack's cat. So what's your justification for not giving the cat to Jack? Oh, because you don't personally think, you don't feel like Jack is responsible enough to own a cat. He's not. But still, it's again, just Izzy finding a personal justification for something because she feels entitled to it more than the person who actually owns it, or who she thought owned the cat. It's the fact that you thought of it, that you thought that it was okay. Did you not see me apologize for that? I'm sorry about that comment. This is a bit of the real Izzy coming out, like, I already said I was sorry. Get over it. Yeah, but the issue is that you thought it was okay at all to begin with. It's a consistent pattern for you. But it's really not that big of a deal for a simple comment, though. It's very telling for Izzy, because on Twitter, she'll be like, I am deeply sorry for this. I understand the ramifications of my actions, and I take responsibility. Thank you so much for calling me out. And then behind the scenes, she's like, it's not that big of a deal, guys. Did you not see me apologize? Move on already. It shows you what her true mentality about it really is. I was emotional because Jack called the cops on me. Huh? He did? Yeah, he did. And the cops called me. Luckily, they didn't show up in person, but they called me. And I was really emotional over that, so I made that whole threat. She really is saying, Jack called the cops on me. I got emotional, and that made me emotionally attached to the ferret's ashes. Still, that was my fault for thinking that, but I was really emotional. But my feelings. So I'm gonna try and learn from my stupid mistakes. Yeah, but we're still here, man. We're still here. She says this back in March. When did the money thing happen again? When did the $1,200 thing happen? Was that before this or after this? Because she's definitely not learning from her mistakes. We returned everything back that she had legal ownership of, and with Latte, the city prosecutor said it was the civil courts. That doesn't make it legally yours, dumbass. That's just one legal representative's opinion on a case he probably has zero context for. Did this prosecutor know that you took the cat? They only give you their opinion based on what you inform them of. If Cindy wants to take this to civil court, she can, and I will fight it. She really didn't have a choice. She knew she couldn't go the legal route because lawyers are expensive, and you said you wouldn't return it even if she made good arguments. Saki, I think you're also getting really emotional. Ah, okay. It doesn't sound like she's getting emotional. It just sounds like you want to back out of this discussion. Yeah, says the person that does everything in her life based on her feelings. Cause also, I gotta go back to work too. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, how long did this conversation last? At the beginning, at 8:22, she said that she was on break for another 5 more minutes. And then that was at 18:22, sorry, not 8:22. And then she says, I gotta go back to work at 18:39. 17 minutes later? It's a long 5-minute break. Is my math correct on that? All I know is that it's more than 5 minutes. Good point. No, the thing is, I am calm. I never liked how thing were handle it, because from our point of view, Cindy wasn't given a choice, and you kept the cat to spite her and Jack. Yeah, very true. I don't want to throw shit in the room that's not true, but almost looked like you manipulated Cindy into this result. I mean, it's really not hard to manipulate Cindy into anything, let's be honest. She couldn't go to court, she couldn't afford a lawyer, you weren't gonna return the cat no matter what, which is just shitty of you, it is, because it's literally her cat, and it just sounded like you wanted to keep, like, there's no other way they can explain to Izzy, this cat is legally under Cindy's name in every sense of the word. The documentation, the microchip, everything, it's under Cindy's name. It is her cat, and she's just like, not, well, I mean, like, if you think about it, it feels like it's more like my mom's cat, if anything. But yeah, it's just this whole feigned pleasantry and politeness that she does. It's all masking for how she really feels. It's just another example of a person putting on this cute and sweet facade to really mask how they're actually feeling in every situation. She said, you know, when she gets down to business, she's not using emojis or cutesy language anymore. I never manipulated Cindy into agreeing. She said she would transfer ownership, and I gave my reasons as why I won't give Latte back. And I think you were there for them. Remember that long call? Anyway, my reasons for why I think Cindy shouldn't get Latte back is, again, oh my god. We're gonna get Izzy's opinion on why the law doesn't apply to her. Okay. This ought to be good. Top 10 reasons why Cindy shouldn't get Latte back. Number 10. I don't think she should have a second animal, either cat, dog, bird, etc. Not even a bug? Especially if she's already struggling with money. Ah, yeah. The financial analyst comes in. Even though, you know, Cindy was doing perfectly fine with 2 pets and a Jack. If you think about it logically, minus the Jack, I'd say she does pretty well. That would be just unfortunate for the animal's sake. You know what's also unfortunate for the animal's sake? Stealing them from their established home and their established owner who they are already comfortable with and plopping them into an unfamiliar environment potentially multiple times. And also, don't think we forgot about that little call you had with Jack about, oh yeah, we might have to steal the other cat and just drop it off in a shelter. Yeah, I think that's also unfortunate for an animal's sake, is to steal them from their established home that they are comfortable in and dropping them off in some random animal shelter. Especially if she doesn't have a backup plan by the time her lease is over. Okay, like, based on what? She seems fine with Baby, I assume that's stupid. She's finally stepping up from last I recall, so then why are you making this shit up? If she's doing fine now, financially and mentally, then what is your reasoning? But before she stepped up, there was an issue with her cleaning between her and Jack, probably because she was living with a whole-ass, mentally unstable freeloader in her house. That might have had something to do with it. Dunno. Just a hunch. What would, like, Izzy, you were complaining about Jack leaving your place a mess. What's your excuse? I remember going to her in Jack's apartment and always having to cover my nose because the house would stink whenever I was hanging out with them at their apartment, and you thought it'd be a great idea to have one of the people responsible for that move into your home. Without your parents' permission, by the way. Even during Cindy's grooming situation with Enno, the house was still a mess. Maybe there was a scandal going on, and maybe, just maybe, that was stressing Cindy out a little bit. I feel like somebody would fall behind on cleaning. While Jack is a huge part of the blame for why the house was so messy, Cindy did share an apartment with him, so she also shoulders some of the blame with the house upkeep. Then what is your excuse? Because you were also Jack's roommate for a little bit. The fuck's your problem? So does this mean that you are also a bad cat owner? Did Izzy just forget that whole arc? I can only hope that ever since the big clean Cindy did a few months ago, I hope she's been keeping— It's not your fucking business. It's not your business. Even if the cleaning isn't spotless, even if it's cluttered, even if the house is a little messy, that's fine for a cat. There are lots of other situations that cats have been in where the house is absolutely, like, rotting. Have you ever seen cat extractions from a hoarder's house? Hang on a second. Brief intermission. Why not? I'm gonna show you guys what an actual bad environment looks like for a cat. Guys, ignore the piano music.
They were covered in fleas and they all required vet attention. This house and this life is all they've ever known. This is where they felt safe. So when scary humans entered their territory to catch them and take them away, it was never going to be an easy task.
Lyo House Tour! Shut up. He said it, not me.
Nice.
Live footage of Izzy and Jack taking the cats from Cindy's house.
Little black kitten.
Like, these are actual conditions where a cat needs to be saved from a home. A house or an apartment being a little bit cluttered is not gonna hurt a cat. It's stuff like this. Like, look at this. Look at this really, like, nasty— and this is probably after— again, this is after they cleaned out all of the hoarded stuff. Imagine how packed it was in here. With all this mold and bugs. And probably cat piss and cat poop. Like, I'm not saying it has to be this bad to rescue a cat, but yeah, it has to be this bad. Where the cats are actually getting physically ill, noticeably sick, noticeably injured, and they have bugs on them and infections. I'm pretty sure Cindy's house or Cindy's apartment was not in that condition. Like, she's really trying to justify taking someone's cat. But she's ending off this little segment by saying, like, oh, I'd have to go and inspect her house before deciding to legally give her back the cat that I stole from her. Yeah, I didn't realize Izzy was the HOA. Anyway, oh look, oh, evidence, video evidence of the litter box being dirty. Oh no! Well, guys, it's an open and shut case. Because small claims court doesn't need a lawyer, and even if she won, she'd only get monetary value back, and not the cat. I remember asking the counter desks at the office. Oh yeah, because the receptionist will know if you're gonna win a case or not. Plus, Cindy didn't even have that much of any good arguments to get Lottie back other than she bought the cat. I mean, there's only one argument that really matters, and that she legally owns the cat! I don't think that was a very good argument, though. Ma'am, you have violated the law. I don't really consider that as a— I don't think she ate. Honestly, the vibes were off. This is just based on Izzy's feelings on the matter, not about any actual ownership. Like, Jack is somebody that Izzy has even acknowledged that she believes has ownership rights over this cat. Remember, in the argument between Izzy and Cindy, she was like, you bought this cat for Jack. That means that this cat belongs to Jack. And now she's sitting here being like, well, I don't think Jack really deserves to have the cat. Because I don't think Jack deserves the cat that even I have acknowledged that Jack owns. So, you're not gonna have it, so it's mine now. Again, just more entitlement from Izzy. I think Cindy should just focus on her life and babies. I think she should just move on from the fact that I stole her cat. And also threatened to put her other cat in a shelter without her consent, but I think she should just get over it. She needs to take care of herself. She doesn't need to worry about the things that I did wrong. Why doesn't she just focus on her own life? Ma'am, you murdered my husband. Well, why don't— I feel like you just need to really focus on yourself right now. I don't think you need to worry about what I did, okay? I think that's just ruining your vibes. I think that's just not really good for your mental, you know what I mean? Having a second cat would be more costly, more cleaning required, checkups, etc. So that's why I think she should just stick with Baby and herself for the meantime. It's easy for Izzy to say all this stuff because she lives with her parents. And I think Izzy also gets disability on the side. Although I could see the counter-argument being, well, when Synny is able to care for 2 cats, why not just give her back to Latte? And I want to say, if she's attached to Latte, why can't I be too? Oh my god, this fucking bitch. And listen, I'm not mad on Synny's behalf. I'm not out here feeling bad for Synny, okay? I feel bad. It's the overall principle of the fact, and the fact that a cat was stolen from their home and moved all around the place. Just for this person's sense of spite and entitlement. It's the cat that I feel bad for in this case, not Synny. And the overall principle of the fact that somebody is so entitled that they're like, it's actually unfair that I can't connect to your cat. I know that's extremely selfish, but I just want to say this. It would also be selfish on Synny if she asks for Latte back, as she's already extremely settled into my mom's house. Well, whose fucking fault is that? You didn't take that into consideration when you stole the cat? Oh, okay, she answers it for us. Listen to this. And I can see a rebuttal to my rebuttal being, well then, why did you remove Latte from Synny's apartment in the first place? My response to that, 1, because of Jack. That's not a good answer. And 2, she's currently not in a position to currently care for 2 cats. But you said earlier in this same post that Synny's stepping up. She's on the up and up. She's doing good. She's fine with Baby. She's doing great. And you said before she stepped up, things were bad, implying that they're not bad anymore. But now, your justification later in the paragraph is, well, it's still bad because I feel like it is. And you've even admitted yourself that you haven't even seen the condition of the house for months. So how do you even know that it's a bad condition? How do you even know? Whoa, wait, I just read ahead a little bit. Wait, I'm not alone in liking Latte, because my mom is also extremely attached to Latte too. Actually, I was about to give Latte up for adoption on a pet site, because at first I didn't want a 3rd cat, so she doesn't even want the cat. I was just gonna give it up for adoption anyway. I just don't want Synny to have it. Because what? Because why, Izzy? Is it because then you would be in the wrong? You would be seen as in the wrong? Is it because you would have to concede on the fact that you stole somebody's cat and you just can't handle that? But my mom said that Latte should stay with us and not move around because she doesn't deserve that. Well, maybe you guys should have thought of that before stealing the cat in the first place. And that she seemed abused from her old life. My mom's words, not mine. So what does your mom know about the situation? Your mom only knows what you tell her. And if you're telling her, if you're convincing her to take this cat in the first place by saying, well, the cat was abused, then of course she's gonna think that it's better for the cat to stay with them. Because you fed her false information about the cat's condition. I almost forgot. Here are the adoption papers for Latte. You can clearly see out Synny's full name and her signature on them, not Jack's. Alright, let's zoom in. November 30th, 2023, Missouri, Cynthia Blank. So those are her initials, ST, ST, ST. As the adopter of the pet described as Top Chef. So I'm guessing the cat's name was Top Chef while in the adoption facility, while in the shelter. Imagine letting this person adopt this cat and are like, take good care of Top Chef. She's meant a lot to us, to this shelter while she's been here. She's very good. We hope that you give her a good home. And then Jack is like, your name is now Skirp! You're Skirp now! This does look legit. And yeah, these are the types of papers that would hold up. Dorothy, to this day, has not answered me. It's almost like she didn't have a rebuttal for those arguments that she'll probably call later bad arguments. During the call, Dorothy attempted to justify her position of Latte using several unrelated or irrelevant points, including Synny's car insurance and later her housing lease. She's desperate. When Cinny clarified that her lease had already been renewed prior to the situation, Dorothy pivoted again, this time trying to make the controversy, I assumed the grooming one, another factor as to which has nothing to do with the cat. I agree. Cinny doing that to Enno has nothing to do with her ability to take care of cats. They're just not correlated with each other. As I can't attach videos directly on a Google Doc, the audio recording will be provided in the accompanying thread. Okay. Oh my god. This is the absolute worst way to archive a call. Are you kidding me? It's chopped up to all hell and back. That's a 30-second clip, a 1-minute clip, 20-second clip, and a 2-minute clip. So for all we know, these could be chopped up, cherry-picked, and taken wildly out of context.
Because I'm the one who adopted the cat, I'm the one who put my name on the paper and bought the cat with my money. Like, I have the transaction, I can pull
But Cynthia, you bought this cat for Jack!
up the transaction, I have proof it exists, I have, like...
We're in a time loop. They had this exact same conversation on Izzy's doorstep back in October. And we're back here again.
Copies of the paperwork that don't have Jack's name anywhere on it. If you look up the chip number that Squirp has, then my name comes up, my address comes up, my phone number comes up. That's why I've been getting so many, you know, like messages saying that my cat was found at a shelter. Really do not like the idea of you rehoming her.
You see, I'm just not really a fan of the idea of the concept of you potentially trying to rehome my cat. I'm not really comfortable. You just say, "Give me my cat back!"
Okay, well, that's also your opinion.
What? I have the legal paperwork, my name is on everything, I have the microchip registered under my name. Legally, it's my cat. Okay, well, that's just your opinion. Oh my god.
I socialize with and play with while I can't. Seems like a good...
That just seems like... Cinny, you don't have to do this. You don't have to reason with the person that stole your cat. You don't have to convince the person that stole your cat that you deserve to have the cat that they stole from you.
You know, with the lease coming up and whatnot, and
the lease hasn't come up for a long time.
Did you renew it?
I renewed it a while ago. Again, it expires in August.
August already passed.
Izzy, do you realize that there are gonna be more Augusts after the last one?
Of next year.
Oh, there's a next year?
Because, like, with the whole controversy and stuff like that, personally...
The controversy has nothing to do with the cats.
It really doesn't.
Fair enough, that is true. Personally, since, okay, that's true. Well, yes, those are all good points. I feel like currently, for this next couple of...
You hear that? Well, those are all good arguments. You know, the arguments that Cinny has been saying since September, I'm pretty sure. The same arguments that Izzy has said that were not compelling in the slightest, justifying her reason for keeping the cat. Now she's saying those are good arguments.
Get yourself another cat, because personally, Scorp is just, you know, you have to go through the legal system and whatnot, because I personally do not want to give her up to you and stuff like that, because I will...
So basically, Izzy's only argument is, well, I don't want to. I don't want to give you back the cat that I stole from you. And so I'm gonna make you have to do it the hard way. For months. Because I don't want to. And that's Izzy's entire existence and her reasoning for everything she does.
There's just so much, like, open wounds between us.
Your personal feelings don't matter when it comes to legality, Izzy!
And you're saying you don't want to give her back to me because you don't like me?
No.
No.
That's not it. Exactly.
I do want to point...
No, that's not it. Exactly. I know it's cut off, but yeah, that's funny.
Mainly because I don't want either.
Are you emotionally attached to the cat?
I guess so. I love Square.
What the fuck just happened there? Looking back at my actions, maybe they were out of pettiness? I don't even know what they were, and I still am confused. Oh, okay, so her new reasoning is, I don't know. You don't think 3 steps ahead of yourself, do you, Izzy? I think it's a good call-out post, in my opinion, so look through it yourself. Guys, it's actually a really good call out. I feel like, wasn't that always a Creepshow Arts thing? So look through it yourself if you want a good judge of my mistakes and actions. Even though, you know, I never, you know, she told me all of these months prior to my face, and I completely disregarded them then. But now that it's public, I honestly think that she's a really good judge of character for this entire situation. After all, that's what a call-out is supposed to be. I don't want to run or hide, as that would be a cowardly thing for me to do. I need to face them head-on and to change as a person. Didn't you ignore them for months? Dorothy, till this day, hasn't answered me. Their response to their long-ass response in Discord way back in March, they never responded to. And now they're sitting here being like, oh, well, I need to face them head-on and change as a person. You're only saying that because you're being called out publicly. You didn't think any of these things when you were told all this privately. I need to change this immaturity that I have. I wish, as an adult, it went away, but it didn't. And I do need to change. I don't blame anyone for hating me and for unfollowing me, as I've screwed up on these situations. With Jack and Cinny, I guess, in a way, I'm grateful that I screwed up and got called out. Guys, I think in the end, I think it was a good thing that I stole Synnibear's cat. I guess if you think about it, it was just fate. It just had to happen. I hope I don't screw up again like I've done, but if I do, I hope I get called out on it. Bitch, no the fuck you don't! I'm sorry, no matter how guilty anyone feels about something they've done, nobody likes being called out on shit that they've done wrong. You could acknowledge wholeheartedly the thing that you did wrong. But if someone were to come to you and be like, hey, you know that thing that you acknowledged that you've done wrong? I can snap my fingers and just make everybody forget that ever happened. Everybody on the entire planet. Anyone would take that opportunity. I hope I get called out every single day from now on. This is so great. All I can do is live, learn, and grow as a person. How about giving the fucking cat back? This was on May 4th. Latte was officially returned to Cinny on April 29th. Izzy has acknowledged her mistake and made things right. Please don't send any hate her way. Yeah, it is my fault for keeping her for so long. Yeah. Yes. I'm sorry for all the headaches I've caused. Bowing emoji. She does that prayer bowing emoji all the time. Honestly, a few things. One, I actually never really wanted Latte in the first place. And having Latte reminded me of everything that happened. I want to adopt and care for a cat that I choose, not a cat I didn't get a chance at choosing, especially with bad memories. Oh, okay. So the cat was just inconvenient. This is screaming sour grapes. I thought you were emotionally attached to the cat, Izzy. Okay, sorry for being salty, but why did you left Squirp in the first place if you didn't want her? I know you said something about your mom getting attached to her, and her getting attached to the cat. Honestly, it seems that you left the cat just out of spite to torment Cinny for what she did. If you mean kept, I only really kept Skirp at first because of Jack. Then, due to concerns that Cinny wouldn't be able to care for two cats, and then because of some sort of ego? Question mark? What? And there were others who were encouraging me to keep Skirp. 3, it was the right thing to do. A video on YouTube gave me the right push to give back the cat. And snap out of whatever pride or stupidity I had. I was like, yeah, Cinny is able to care for two cats. I'm just the one who's being a bitch at this point. Like, so Cinny's reasoning didn't make you think you were wrong, but a fucking video? Yeah, I'm just wondering what was in this random-ass YouTube video. I guess we can say, for all intents and purposes, that this, cat dispute is finally, definitively, hopefully, done. Forever. It's plain to see that Izzy was just clinging on to any possible crumb of justification to hold on to this cat out of spite. Out of pure spite. Can any consequences really be had from this cat situation now that it's resolved? Not really. I don't think so. If the cat is back with the rightful owner, it's resolved. You can't really get consequences for that. Everything that she's at least tried to do when it comes to theft has eventually been returned. You know, the money, the items, the ashes, the cat. I think everything has been properly returned to their rightful place. But the only reason she's done that is because every single time she's faced massive amounts of backlash for it. And everybody screaming from the rooftops, hey, maybe don't take things from people. Maybe don't commit a crime or a felony. And only then is she like, guys, I think after some deep self-reflection, I think I'm going to do the right thing. It's like, wow, good job. Good job, Izzy. You're finally doing the thing that people told you to do half a year ago. Wow, you're so brave. Just remember, bros, Birdie goes by... Oh. Just remember, guys, Birdie goes by he/it. Let's not let the commenters' efforts from the Birdie supercut go in vain. They were working hard typing all those comments, guys. I'm still getting comments on that video by people being like, how could you misgender Birdie? So, Villa, I pinned your comment. Someone said, I'm genuinely curious how you watched that entire video where Birdie states his pronouns and you still misgender it? From your pinned comment, I'm sure you've realized your mistake, though. Go fuck yourself. So condescending. Well, I'm genuinely curious how this person watched my entire video and didn't realize that I didn't watch his entire video. I actually just watched the kitty dog part. That was the only segment I watched. I think referring to somebody as their preferred gender is on the same level of respect as referring to someone as their preferred name. Like, I think it's on the same level of disrespect to intentionally misgender someone as it is to, like, intentionally use someone's wrong name or, like, say their name incorrectly on purpose. Which isn't on the level of a hate crime, mind you, but I still consider it to be a dick move. Is the Birdie saga finally going to be dead and not, oh, but this happened now like a month later and it's something dumb? Well, this is probably going to be the last dumb thing. Fair warning, guys, this document seems to be pretty long, but we'll try to get through it. Okay, I finally finished this. I'm sorry that it took so long, and I'm sorry it's in a doc form instead of a video. If she had spent less time yapping on Twitter and more time just working on the fucking video, maybe it would have been completed months ago. Oh, but I'm so busy. It's easy to reply to literally everyone and comment under every single thing that so much as mentions me. With this doc out there, I'll go on a long hiatus. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will, Izzy. I'll only come back to this just to answer questions of... Yeah, see? The hiatus didn't even last 2 seconds. I'll forever be known as ex-IRL friend of Jack and Synny, or person who stole the cat to some people. Which, fair. I just don't want to be affiliated with them anymore. No matter how far into the future I go, I foresee that there will be some people who pop in and go, cat stealer, immature brat, or something. Probably overthinking. Not just stole the cat, but like one video said, put a picture of the cat in her fucking banner like it was a trophy. Holy shit. She did that? Time is 1:29:22 of Lord Crust pointing out the cat being in the banner. Okay, let me take a look at this.
Jack, aka...
Hello, tiny man.
Well, that is Izzy. She's posted so many tweets flexing Swerve that I can't help but find it honestly vile.
I've posted about this on this account, but it's been a while. To those who are new, I have her, and she's safe and sound. That little sassy cat latte. She was parading the cat around like she rescued the cat. And then she says, I didn't even want the cat. I was just gonna rehome the cat anyway. It's so transparent what your intentions were here, what your motives were. It's basically just treating them like objects, like little stuffed animals. I have 3 siblings, okay? My siblings and I would constantly steal things from each other's rooms. Our justifications would always be something dumb, like they're not using it anyway, they're not taking good care of the item. I feel like I deserve to have it more, so I'm gonna take it. But these are full-grown adults committing actual crimes because of that same exact childish mentality. It's so bad. I've made so many immature mistakes downplaying, and I've let down so many people because of my immature decisions downplaying. I think you guys deserve someone who's a lot more mature. Maturity. It's a bit more than just maturity. Maybe someday in the future, or far future, I'll make a new account under a new name. Okay, good for you, Izzy. What? If you guys see my art and follow me, maybe it was fate for you to be a fan of mine. Heart emoji. The fuck does that even mean? Maybe in that far/near future, I'll let some of you know. For those who do want to know, my new account. Maybe or maybe not, maybe don't. Although for now, I'll be lurking on this account, answering questions and whatnot. Okay, so just doing the same shit that you've been doing this entire time? You do understand, Queen, that's not going on a hiatus, right? I'm sorry for this whole ordeal, and yet I thank you guys. Everyone who has helped me, given me advice, support, and criticism, I thank you. Yeah, sure you do. Without you guys, I wouldn't have been able to learn these life lessons. So what life lesson are you learning exactly? Not to take other people's animals from their homes? What a great life lesson to learn at the age of 20/21. That stealing is wrong. This is the document that Queen was going to make like a whole video around. Black is Queen, purple is Ara. Got it. Important, please not say- yeah, whatever. Introduction. Hi, I'm Queen, also known as Izzy, but both- you may have wondered how I got here. I do want to add a little caution. This whole doc will have some context missing in it. Great. Even then, it's easy to look back with a clearer mind and go, damn, I'm an idiot. That's one way to put it. I'm a very dumb individual with no hindsight and no experience to draw on to go through this whole cesspit of a situation with Jack. I mean, obviously, your parents didn't teach you that stealing from people is wrong. I'll do my very best to make sure I learn and grow from this situation and to not make the same mistakes I did over this time. The thing is, it's all so vague. She's not exactly telling you what those mistakes are, or why it led to this, like, being where she's at now. She's apologizing for being dumb, essentially, which is such a vague way to put it. I don't think she genuinely understands how her actions, and what specific actions, have brought her to this conclusion. By calling it "I was just dumb" is her absolving herself of any agency. Yeah, it's like she's saying, I wasn't thinking, or just like, you know, it wasn't me doing those things. It was a version of me that was blinded by emotion. It's not me, though, who did those things. I'm a different person now. This is new Izzy talking to you guys. In a way, I'm grateful for those dumb mistakes. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, sure, you might be grateful for those mistakes. I don't think Synnibear is grateful for those mistakes. I don't think the cat is grateful for those mistakes that you made. Sure, you could argue that her, like, meandering about with, like, flutzing about with this Jack Synnibear drama, like, online to begin with, is a dumb mistake. Sure. What I'm referring to as the deplorable thing is theft of a cat, of another person's cat. She's not considering the consequences of her actions on other people. Yeah, and look, again, I have to make the disclaimer, I am not trying to defend Synny, or defend what Synny did to like, that ended up causing this to happen, okay? Synnibear still attempted to groom a kid online, and that's what caused this entire cascade of events. I'm aware of that. It was wrong of her to do that. What I am defending is the cat. She was more invested in trying to clear her name and come back to her Synnibear persona on YouTube than getting her stolen cat back. Like, I personally don't think Synny deserves to own cats just based on the fact that she was not willing to fight for them. And I don't mean literally, like, fist fighting, breaking into someone's home. I mean, like, going every route that she could legally to get them back with urgency. She doesn't deserve to have cats, but the fact of the matter is, they are still hers. And as long as she's taking decent care of them and they're happy, that's all that matters to me. That's all that should matter in terms of the cats. I just think that people tend to look at these situations through a lens of, like, emotional biases. I'm trying to introduce some objectivity to these things, because they always get so emotionally charged. Shitty person doesn't always mean shitty owner. Yeah, I mean, there are tons of streamers that are shitty people, but you see that they have cats that they seem to take good care of, and it's like, they're not interconnected, you know? Jack, I know there's a high chance of you reading, or at least someone reading it for you, so I'll say this. Why? Why are you doing all of this? Oh my god! This already sucks ass. The second time I confronted him was legit right before he got kicked out on December 7th. Knight has a much clearer audio recording. I'll be mentioning this second one a lot, and I'll have clips of it here and there. I made fan art of an average Enla covering a doc stream. Yo! The fuck is this Wattpad-ass doc? Although I do not want to say that I've known Jack ever since he moved here, as I was the one who drove with Synny to go pick him up, but that's a story for another day. Oh, I do want to say that I've known— I was like, then why are you saying it? I just haven't fully gotten to know who Jack was as his own person till September of 2024. But even then, you didn't fully know who Jack was as a person, apparently according to you. I only knew bits about him from Synny talking about him at work, and yet you loved this guy so much that you moved him into your house, or not even your house, you moved him into your parents' house without asking for their permission to do it before you did it. That's how much you liked this guy, and you barely even knew him. The hell's your problem, Izzy? I also knew and hoped that Ara would be glad to help as backup, because my mom, here it is, because my mom doesn't like people staying over for long periods, plus she didn't like Jack. Oh, how fate told me why. Oh, if only I could have known. Oh, the irony. Later that day, I went to go help Jack grab his stuff on September 15th, and that's when I grabbed Latte. Nabbed. Although, little PSA, we didn't grab everything, so there were multiple runs during this whole situation, so it wasn't like an impulsive one and done. There were multiple times, over a series of days, I believe, where you could have reconsidered your actions and what effect it would have on the people around you, but you just didn't. You're telling me Synny didn't change the locks. Funny story about that. Apparently, her support group at the time told her not to. You made another fan art? Oh, it's base. I like it. I love it. We grabbed little Latte. Oh, we just grabbed her. Yeah, we call that, theft. Kidnapping. Ara has been my friend since middle school. Oh yeah, when you both peaked. He's also ex-friends and ex-co-workers with Synny. Jack stayed with Ara from September to October of 2024. Alright. During this time, near the beginning of this situation and around late September, Jane Doe had an extreme argument with her mom, which led her to move out from her mom. Who the fuck is Jane Doe again? Jane Doe is another friend of mine. Oh, okay. I don't even know why I ask questions anymore. Jane Doe was also staying at Ara's house during this time, roommating with Jack in his guest room, just all these people squatting at Ara's house. To add insult to injury, Jack made her sleep on the floor while he had the bed to himself. I couldn't... Only the best for Jack. During the October month, Ara's mom was starting to get uncomfortable by Jack because 1, Jack was walking around without his pants on, just his underwear. Common courtesy is gone from Jack's brain. Yeah, who does that in someone else's house? He was staying on the condition that he would be moving out in the next few weeks, like 1 or 2, but he kept shooting down apartments. I genuinely think he would have tried to stay for a year if he wasn't kicked out. Yeah, because it's a free place to live for free. He was only supposed to be there until the end of September at the latest. This other friend of mine is Julie Smith. I've known Julie Smith since elementary, and we've been through thick and thin. Jack moved in with them around mid-October and got kicked out on December 7th. For each month Jack stayed with Julie Smith, he paid about $800 for rent. The couple of reasons why Julie Smith kicked out Jack was because she found out that Jack has a chance of having CP. Plus, Jack was basically being a piece of shit roommate by complaining how there was no food when there was, or the fact that no one was helping him when many people did. He complains a lot. If one thing didn't go his way, he would complain. Yeah, Villa, not gonna lie, it's very in line with what I think of Jack and his antics, but this document feels like they're really trying to hammer home how awful Jack is to make their case. But everyone is like, we know. Jack isn't trying to get better and just wants everyone around him to help him. No! It's almost like that's what he's been doing this entire time! The fact that he would rather spend money on frivolous special interest / hyperfixation merch, candy, and simple wants, and make those around him foot the bill for his medication, food, application fees, and driving him around was infuriating, and yet you guys enabled it anyway. We did have to move Jack to Julie's place due to the fact that he couldn't be at Ara's place anymore because of holidays that were coming up. Yeah, you said this already. After he got kicked out, he booked a plane ticket the next day and went to stay at a family member's house. It shows me that he really could have just done that the entire time. If he can't handle people just restating everything he's done, he didn't mature enough. Didn't you threaten Meta with legal action because Meta uploaded that recording that you guys made? What was it like living with him? Would he ever help around the house or just stay in the guest room all day? Now this is the shit I wanted to hear about. Personally, Jack only stayed at my house for a few days at first before going to Ara's house. That wasn't the question, but okay. Even when my parents would invite him downstairs to have dinner with us, he'd come downstairs, load up more than one serving, oh no, and disappear off to the guest room again. Jack is a shut-in. Who would have guessed that Jack was an antisocial shut-in? It's almost like these people were so flippant about, like, letting Jack go stay with this and that person because it wasn't at their own expense. It was at their parents' expense. Like, it was Izzy's parents and Ara's parents that had to pick up the slack for all this. We would invite Jack out, but it wasn't easy because when going places, he couldn't walk around much, which we will get into later. Most of the time outside the house, he was just coming along for car rides. You know, maybe the reason he couldn't walk around too much is because Jack has spent so long mooching off of people and having other people do work for him that his muscles have atrophied because he has spent so long not lifting anything for himself. Most of the time, he was just coming along for car rides, but I couldn't really leave him alone in the house without me and or Jane Doe. That's just how I do with friends. I try not to leave them alone for too long if they're at my place. Okay, so you're kind of a helicopter friend. Kind of weird. By the time he moved out, which I believe he said was me kicking him out, the guest room was bad. My parents, for good reason, did not like Jack. He was rude to them. He was running up the water and electricity bills, I can imagine. And he walked around in his underwear. The guest room smelled kind of musty. Maybe a little mildewy. Because he left all of his clothes on the floor. His reason? I have POTS. And he would take 10-minute bird baths instead of reels. What the fuck? I'm assuming that it just means that he would sit in the bath for 10 minutes and not wash himself and then leave. So I have no idea if he was actually clean or not. He didn't really dry off after his showers, so the bed didn't smell good either. Oh god. Just letting the water run on you and then not drying off? Yeah, there was probably mold. Ugh. Oh well, yeah, obviously it's like mental dysfunction, absolutely. But there comes a certain point where, especially if you're living in someone else's house on someone else's dime out of the kindness of their heart, the least you could do is stay hygienic and clean. Even when you have executive functioning issues, there is enough forethought and sense of shame and human decency to at least pull yourself together long enough to lend that decency to another person. It's hard, but you have to try. Yeah, but this is... I was about to say, this is something else entirely. This is just learned behavior of, like, not taking any responsibility for yourself. Sometimes I even had to wake him up so he could go to his appointments. Meanwhile, I had to walk on eggshells so he wouldn't get uncomfortable, and I didn't want to intrude on Ara's space because I didn't want to burden him with it, even though it was, I'm pretty sure, his idea in his house. So I put up with Jack's shit. I cared about Jack so much that... Why, though? Why, though? What reason did you have to give a single fuck about this guy? Other than, I felt bad for him. Is that the only reason you cared about him? Cause, like, it sounds like Jack's never done a single thing for you in your entire time of knowing him. So why do you care? Why do you give a shit? No, this isn't Izzy, Jack. This is Jane Doe. I just don't understand how you even, like, had sympathy for someone like this in the first place if they were nothing but awful to you and uncaring towards you. Like, I could understand if it's a friend that you've known for so long and that you just have a deep connection, like a historical connection with, and it's just like the history that you guys have. And things used to be so good and so sweet and so nice, and then it just kind of slowly transformed into this, like, sort of one-sided abusive situation. But it just seems like Birdie was just awful from the start. From beginning to end, he was just an awful person to everybody. What did you just send me?
Bob, can I get a glass of water?
What the fuck? Get to the part about the big meaty turds Jack left in the toilet constantly. I thought that was Keemstar that did that. Jack left all his dishes in the sink. This is Julie Smith now. Jack left his hair all over the bathroom walls? How? Jack left a light on 24/7 in his room. Jack used to come out of his... I like this retelling a lot better. It's just right to the point. Thank you. Jack also stopped saying hi every night and would only come out to eat. He then really did that when I... Oh, wah, he didn't say hi to me sometimes. Shut the fuck up. Jack mostly ate sweets, candy, and like meal prepped burritos that I put together. Yeah, no wonder this guy couldn't lift or walk because he didn't have any nutrients in his body. He usually didn't touch anything that was just ingredients like ground beef, cheese, lettuce, tomato, etc. unless I specifically made him a burrito, salad, etc. Jack would never... So he's like a walking toddler. Jesus Christ, what the hell is this? Okay, so this is like half of a conversation. Like just putting us into the middle of a conversation from Jack. So this is Jack, Birdie, 19 or 20. I'm pretty sure it's 20 to 21, something around there. I'm not excusing my previous behavior with my personality disorder, because it was still wrong and I never said it wasn't. And my personality disorder doesn't mean you should keep things from me, because you assume I'll flip out. Okay, but if your usual reaction to things is flipping out, then it's very understandable that somebody would stop telling you things or stop talking to you because they know that you're gonna flip out. I can't take care of my cat where I'm at. It's not your cat. I can't drive. I can't eat every other day. What do you fucking mean by that? My family thinks I'm a groomer. You kinda are. I feel like passing out every time I stand up, but that's because you don't eat healthy and you never exercise or do anything. The way you guys act around me gives me the impression you guys are scared of me or think I'm dangerous. Well, you did stab your mom with a fork and then made jokes about it. I think there are plenty of reasons to think that you're a little unhinged. We're talking about the person who walks around in their underwear in a stranger's house, littered with like fresh, day-old self-harm cuts. And he looks at you and he goes, I don't understand why you think I'm unhinged or dangerous. He literally would say he's demonkin. Who would ever get the idea that you might have a problem? I mean, this one just gives people with BPD a really bad name. Yeah, this is for BPD Awareness Month, is it? I'm just saying. Even people with BPD agree with me that they are Satan. We made this on the spot when we realized that Julie Smith wanted to kick him out. We've seen this before. We've seen this list. Racism? Possibly. Who he was as a person was plastered all over the internet for years. Yeah, so it's like, you can't sit here and say he lied to us when it was like obvious to literally everybody that knew him. I suspect that they knew what kind of person Jack was, but it didn't bother them because it wasn't happening to them. He wasn't being a shitty person to them. So it didn't fucking matter at the time. But now that it does matter to them, all of a sudden it's like we never realized what a bad person he was. Yeah, you did. You were just permissive of it because it wasn't happening to you. That's why he became a problem for you. Not because of the things he was doing to other people, but because of the things he did to you. And all of this extra shit about the stuff that he did to other people is just you justifying your new hatred for him. Like, if Jack was the model roommate in every sense of the word and was perfect and never inconvenienced them personally at any point, they would still be at his side defending him up and down. Absolutely. It has nothing to do with what he has done to other people. It has everything to do with how he treated them specifically. Sadly, it wasn't due to him responding to a minor as Jack manipulated the story and we fell for it. Yeah, I'm sure. And you guys just didn't look into anything whatsoever. It also... Does Izzy ever explain how Jack manipulated the story to them and why they wouldn't have been able to fact check it themselves? It's not because Jack manipulated you guys, it's just because you didn't fucking bother. It sucks that we really didn't look into it until Twitter started to point it out to me when I was defending, him a while ago. Because Jack lied to us about who he was as a person. No, he didn't. We expected a clean, well-rounded person who had their life under control. Fucking when? Whatever gave you that implication anywhere about him as a person? I would like to see those examples of you expecting those things. What? Clean person, but when they went over to the apartment, it was so stinky they had to close their nose. They have to be lying. Yeah, coming from a fucking 20-something Walmart wagey who lives with their parents. Who the fuck are you people to even fathom that you are a good judge of getting their life together? We didn't know who Jack was and we had to find out the hard way. No, you didn't. No, you fucking didn't, though. None of this was necessary. This is Izzy once again going with the, it had to happen this way. Everything happened for a reason. We did all the things that we did because of fate. It was just meant to happen like this. Oh my god, hello? Taking a mile instead of an inch. Victim complexing. Oh, guys. Are you guys late to the party or something? Says he thinks of suicide 24/7. Cool. And you still let this person into your house. Telling Jane Doe and Queen he would do it again. Of course. Oh, is this the Google Drive with the audio? Okay.
You're basically worse than Cindy. You all—
Jesus Christ. Tell them how you really feel, Izzy. Is this before or after they wrecked your apartment?
You've lied to us so many times
Can we
that I
stop
can't—
you right there with that one too? I only meant in the context of like, I don't think you understood properly because it's not something that people do like as a joke, but I'll be like, oh yeah, this, did you know that, let me think of an example. Do you know that James Corden was—
It's so funny that Jack completely skips over the "you are worse than Cinny" comment that Izzy just made, and just like hyper-focused on a different point that she was making altogether.
That's what
Yeah, I agree with you, Guppy. Jack is the perfect example of how neglect and being raised by the internet can affect a child growing up. Yeah, our future generations are so fucked, dude. So this is the grandma typing this? I think you need to put some work into trying to be— not to be so much to handle. You burned your bridges here. Telling people you didn't feel safe here was incredibly underhanded and hurtful. If you don't want to get kicked out, you should talk to Nana and Jean about what you can do to deserve to stay here, to stay there. What do they need to see from you? How can you prove yourself? Are you willing to try? Or you can ask blank for help and put in more effort there. At least you wouldn't be homeless. Grandma giving sound advice. When I first noticed this, I thought it wasn't bad at all. Instead, this is something I would have said. Are you sure? This is when I realized that there's so much that Jack had been spinning the narrative around for his own benefits. What, this? This is the point where you realize that, oh shit, Jack is a bad person? If Jack can lie about his grandparents, his family, and call them evil, who else has he lied about and sent mob hate to? I'm so happy that you're just realizing the damage that Jack has potentially caused to all sorts of people. Is he only now catching up acting like she discovered it before everyone else? Is annoying. I know, right? Yeah, that was my fault for not watching Jack's I'm Back video at all. I only watched the first half where he talked about his life and how he moved in with Cinny, because I was wondering if he was going to mention me. That's the only reason why you watched the first half. She skimmed this video of Jack telling everyone all about himself and what kind of person he is, and showing it all on display for everyone to see, just to see if she was mentioned. I shouldn't have done that, yeah, you're right. But even then, I probably would have been too stupid and blind to really notice anything. Or maybe I'm discrediting past self. Past self. Guys, it was just my past self. It was just my past self, it's not me. It's not who I am. It was my past self, you understand, right? Again, just avoiding responsibility for her actions. There comes a point where, in my opinion, reasons become excuses. Where does a reason become a crutch to use? You know. Well, I don't know, you just continuously saying I was dumb or I am dumb for every bad thing you ever do, Izzy. There's a line where, yes, one's environment makes them who they are, but there's a point where it just becomes who one is. It's like sailing on a broken boat. The boat being the past, and how you fix it is how you... Guys, I'm so glad that we're getting life advice from fucking Queen. That's so good. What the f- I don't know, I just made that up on the fly. Yeah, I can tell. I believe that Jack has broken the law. Well, so have you, so you two have something in common. What was Jack's reaction to giving away Latte to you? Oh, so like as in the agreement that they had? It was either quiet or just accepting. He said that he cared about her, said he couldn't live without her, but he just didn't put up any complaints or fights, which is a good thing. I think / hope. What? So you don't even know? So you could have just said, I don't know, he didn't say anything. He told me he lived for Skirp and for something else, and that he could attempt if he lost them both. Ugh, ew, just get that off my screen, dude. Those look super fresh, by the way. If you lived in my house and you were constantly, like, coming up and you had, like, obvious fresh cuts that you had just done, I'd be like, okay, you need to stop doing that or you need to leave my house. I don't care if you're going through shit. Go through shit some other way. Like, Jesus Christ. I don't need to see that shit. I mean, they literally said cutting to them is like a Yuri thing, which is referencing Yuri from DDLC, who also does cutting as like a self-gratifying sort of thing. No, for Jack it's absolutely a fetish. No one can convince me otherwise, because he actually just literally says it. And not everyone wants to see. It's also some form of like exhibitionism as well. I think he gets off to people seeing the self-harm scars and reacting to them, including kids, which is fucked. Cinny never had Skirp. Well, she does now. So she was correct on that. What she wasn't correct on is framing me as a bitch? What? But you are a bitch. Because I understand my actions. No, you don't. But I know that to Cinny I seem like a bitch, so never mind. Why did you leave this in here? Why are you wasting our goddamn time? They stole the cat, so I'd say they are a bitch. I want to elaborate on one thing. In that scene where Cinny came to my house unannounced, I was scared. I had Skirp in the house, and luckily she was just downstairs and never came upstairs during this whole confrontation, okay? The reason why I said that Skirp was mine... Are you gonna address the "it's my cat now" statement? So she's gonna try and, like, rationalize this comment. Okay, let's see it. The reason why I said that Skirp was mine was because of two things. Because Jack had given me his custody of Latte, but I never let Cinny know of that. But you weren't... And the other was because I didn't think when I said that as I was panicking. So the real answer is you don't know why you said that. I had a perfectly valid reason for why I said what I did, and I also don't know why I said that. The fact that she showed up to my house to demand Skirp back proved to me that she could do anything if she put her mind to it. No, that's kind of like what you do when someone steals your pet. You go and you try to get the pet back. If anything, Cinny should have done a hell of a lot more. Before I go on, I do want to say as an update, I gave Skirp back to Cinny. It was about time, and I held on for it for too long, even past the point where Cinny was very ready to own 2 cats. Okay? April 28th, I gave Skirp back to Cinny and apologized to her for my actions. I kept her cat for far long- yeah, you just said this. What started from me just holding on to Skirp for Jack, to Jack give me his side of the ownership of Skirp to better care for her, then to me yeah, we know. Then getting ownership in a complicated sense? No, you stole her. What started from me just holding on to Skirp, not you actively stealing Skirp. Around November, Cinny did give me permission to keep Skirp, and I do have the recording of it, which unfortunately helped boost my stupid ego. You know, the recording that none of us have seen, so we don't even know if this is true. I'm just glad the wake-up call finally slapped me and was able to do the right thing by giving Cinny back her cat. What was the wake-up call, though? She said it was like some video, some random YouTube video that just woke her up to this realization. Yeah, I doubt that. I think it was the mounting pressure and the criticism. Yeah, the cat being stolen was really sad. I think maybe she was scared about going to the police because of her grooming, and maybe she thought she was going to be put in jail or something. There's an aspect of that, too. I mean, like, you have everybody on the internet being like, oh, the cops are gonna come for you, the cops are gonna come for you. I guess that would make someone a little hesitant to go to the cops if you're stupid. And she is. What was that thing about the shelter sending Cindy messages about Latte being held there? Oh yeah, the messages. I have a reason for this. I took Skirp to the vet for her first time. Yes, it was her first time at the vet. Neither Cindy or Jack took Skirp to a vet, even as a checkup, since they got her in December of 2023. Okay. Anyway, my vet did a little microchip scan, because I told them that Latte had a microchip, to which they contacted Cindy. And that didn't tip you off that maybe Cindy is the registered rightful owner of the cat? I don't know why the system kept notifying the legal owner of the cat. Yeah, I don't know why they would keep notifying the owner of the cat that their cat was here. That's weird. Yeah, the reason why Jack abandoned Stupid, her name is Baby now, was because I'm not taking in 2 cats. I already have 3 cats at my house. If I took 2 more cats, then it would be 5. Good, you can count. Good job, Izzy. And then I would have had a 6th at one point because I was watching Jane Doe's cat when she left her mom's house. You know, you could have just not taken the cat at all to begin with. I told Jack that he could only take 1 cat, and he chose Skirp over Baby because Latte was much more attached to him, and he thought that Baby would be okay by herself. Although if I went back to my past self, you know, not... If I went back to my past self, still referring to her past actions as a separate person, by the way, I probably wouldn't have taken Skirp. Or maybe I still would? So what are you saying? If I went back, maybe I would have done it again. If I did go back, I would have 100% have given Skirp up much sooner. You know, he thought that Baby would be okay by herself. Yeah, but don't mention the part where you suggested taking Baby to a shelter after stealing both of them. Yeah, don't mention that part. We're just gonna forget that ever happened, right? Alright, so this is Ara coming in again, with probably another banger of a statement. I think it's kinda normal to take your favorite cat in the divorce if you have more than one. But I thought they both belonged to Jack. Trying to argue one of them should have been... Trying to argue of one... Oh my god. Regardless of our opinions on Cynthia and Jack, each taking 1 cat feels pretty normal. So Ara's reasoning is 4 minus 2 equals 2 on both sides. It just sounds right because then it's even. Because then they're even numbers. No, it doesn't, you blithering fucking retard. Never have kids. Villa's malding right now. Okay, so Ara just basically said nothing. Great. The cats bonded and lived together for so long, and then you just split them up. That's really traumatizing to social animals. Those cats bonded and you ripped them apart. Yeah, just no consideration. Because obviously those cats looked like they really got along with each other and really bonded from the videos that I saw. I know someone who is friends with Cindy answered a question someone had if Skirp is getting along with the other cat. They said since it was months they had to be reintroduced. There is something tragic about that. Yeah, this is obviously like the most frustrating thing to me, and this is why I'm so invested in this, because I care about the damn cats! Before I go on, I do have a rant that's left over from previous updates from the start. When Cindy and Jack first adopted Skirp, they called me to get my old cat supplies instead of getting anything. No food, no kitty litter, no kitty toys, no nothing. They only bought a little hamster bag because Skirp was just a kitten. Izzy, I gotta be honest, I don't give a fuck about your opinions about how they treated the damn cat when you literally stole the damn cat! I don't give a fuck. You clearly didn't give a shit about the cat either. Why did he only take Skirp if he was worried that Cindy was going to neglect the cats and leave one of the cats with her? I don't know, because I thought that Cindy would be okay with 1 cat, and she was fine, so my belief was correct in the beginning. Plus, it wasn't really out of concern that she was abusing the cats then. You were in that call plotting to steal the other cat. That's true, though. We keep coming back to it because no one else ever fucking mentions this. But they were conspiring to steal both cats and then just toss one or both into a shelter. For no reason other than spite. Is Cindy still your coworker? Yes, although I have 2 jobs, so for one of them, yes, she is. That's awkward. I confronted him on the fact that he didn't do the dishes, and Jack responded saying he didn't know how. Oh, this I gotta hear. Alright, guys.
You say that Cindy's not clean. You're not clean as well. You has to clean up a lot of your stuff.
She didn't tell me that.
Your plates, you leave your plates in there, and she has to clean that. Even then, speaking of the plates about,
She could have said that to me. I wouldn't have known. I can't read people's minds.
How was I supposed to know that I was just leaving dirty dishes in the sink and not cleaning them? How was I supposed to know that I wasn't cleaning? Yeah, we live in the year of our Lord 2025, where you can basically look up any skill and how to learn it yourself on YouTube. Yes. Information about how to do anything is at your fingertips. And you're just sitting there like a dumbass being like, I don't know how.
You tell Cindy to do the dishes and everything like that. She says she does, she will, and the stuff like that. So you know that the dishes should be done.
I don't know how they're supposed to be done.
Oh, now suddenly we're saying, I don't know.
Look where you're at in life. Are you a baby? There is zero excuse. This is a pathology of learned helplessness. This is the definition of learned helplessness. Also, it's what do you mean, how? It doesn't take rocket science to clean a dish. You just rub dish soap and water on it with a sponge until the dirt is gone. That's what you do, and then you rinse it until the soap is gone, and then you dry it until the water is gone. I can't believe I have to break down how washing dishes work. I had to stay with a friend's parents during the La Fires. Oh, the LA Fires! And I made sure everything was spotless. That's good, Britt.
Know how they're supposed to be done. You can ask people. Nope. Sit down, Jack. Jack, sit down. Come back here.
You're just here to yell at me.
I'm not yelling at you.
You just... Oh my god, what a fucking baby! Oh my god, you're just yelling at me. Wah.
I'm literally criticizing you. This is your excuses. You're using your excuses again. You said you want to change. You said you want me to be honest. I am being honest. If you want to say that you changed, go sit down.
You hear how heavily he plopped on the bed like a pouting teenager? I grew up with me and 3 siblings. I know what that sounds like. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I give it like 6 months to a year before Birdie comes back and either makes like another video talking about how everything is not his fault and is someone else's fault, or just, you know, going back to pretending nothing happened. And probably begging for money. Or it's probably something like my aunt is abusing me, I need another 10k. Something along those lines. I see it. From September to April, Skirp was at my house. Okay. I felt the need to not let Cindy know where Skirp really was until I felt it was safe enough to? Question mark? Okay, to everyone who's not an idiot like Cindy, it was obvious that they were at your house. We didn't want her to show up to my house to demand Skirp back. The fact that she ended up doing that proved my point. Yeah, because you stole Skirp from her. She wants her cat back! You're acting like it's such a huge shock that somebody would do that, when you literally stole their cat. I then called the police first, and then about 30 minutes after talking to a cop on the phone, the same cop called me and said that Cindy had talked to him. He recommended that I talk to the city prosecutor about the whole debacle and the letter that Cindy had sent to me. Later, around the date when all the items needed to be returned that were mentioned in the letter... What? Jesus Christ, the writing. The city prosecutor had then said that he wasn't going to private me, as I haven't really broken any criminal laws, and stated that for Cindy to have a small chance of getting the cat back, she'd have to go through the small claims court. Guys, I need a break. I'll tell you what I've been doing in the background, alright? I've been, sailing. Before this tweet, I told Jack that I might have to give Skirp to Cindy because of the letter from the city prosecutor that Cindy contacted. Didn't you just say the prosecutor said that there isn't much chance of Cindy getting the cat back? I was scared at that time, as Jack was debating on attempting right after I told him. Oh, shut the fuck up. When I told him, he went to the room he was staying in Julie Smith's apartment and poured out the pills right in front of me. What a fucking loser. And you believe that shit? You believed that performative ass, like, I'm gonna kill myself routine? I had to talk him out of trying to attempt, but now I have a feeling he wasn't actually- But now I have a feeling he wasn't actually going to do it. What do you mean you have a feeling? Oh my god. Although at the time I thought I was talking to a dead man walking, even after calming him down. And even after calming him down and getting him ice cream. So you rewarded him for this behavior. Wow, good job, Izzy. He only tried to attempt because he thought he was going to lose Skirp, and managed to somewhat calm down after we were going to fight for Latte and try to find a way. This whole behavior also pressured me into keeping Latte for longer as well, as I would have given her back up. No, that's a lie. That's a flat-out lie. You weren't considering giving the cat back to Synny. You were considering giving the cat to a shelter. You said so yourself that you were planning on rehoming the cat. What a liar. I need another break. Let's see. The only times he does blame himself is if it doesn't make him too much of a bad guy, i.e. like blaming his disabilities on BPD, or blaming his disabilities like BPD, autism, etc. Heck, he even looks up new disabilities and claims he has them without actually going to a professional. I know, that's why I started a response. So this is December 7th, 2024. I need to wait until I've stabilized. There's been a lot plaguing my mind. I'm not trying to hide anything from you. The only person I told about the disorder until now was Blank and Al. I have a combination of borderline personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder. Well, we all know that BPD is just narcissism for women, so what's the difference? I believe it. I believe it. I started wondering if it was normal that my world centers around myself so badly, and I get so angry about things when I know I'm wrong, and then I started doing research, and then I realized my behavior wasn't normal or healthy. I might be narcissistic. Yeah, we know. There's a lot of stigma about this disorder. No way. It's almost like there's a good reason for it. It's almost like most therapists and psychologists suggest that you not interact or associate with narcissists. Or if you do, you keep them at arm's length, because they're only going to use and abuse and manipulate you. You jump on me for every single thing I say because it seems like you think it's impossible for you to be wrong about me. You've given no one any reason to think otherwise, Birdie. Jack still has his stuff here. I've tried to contact him for about a week with no response. Then on February 16th, Jack finally texted back asking if I could still help him, which I said no. Which then leads to February 18th. That's when Jack called the cops and then called me. The cop basically just asked if I could continue to help Jack as Jack could sue me. I mean, yeah, because you have his stuff. The cop basically just... Oh wait, the cop made some good points, like how Jack is paying for the shipping and my time, so I might as well. Plus, that would mean Jack's stuff gets out of my house as well as... Yeah, that's just common fucking sense. Oh, the cop said that if I give him his stuff, the stuff won't be in my house anymore. I told him, Mr. Policeman, you make some great arguments there, bud. I'm sorry, Meta. Oh, Meta. Like as in Metapone? I'm sorry for the way I acted in that recording. It really was meant for a note-taking thing that we would have spliced up. You were literally saying in that thing that it was for like some kind of like hybrid podcast Patreon thing you guys were doing, a tell-all. It was meant to be public from the beginning. What do you mean? She's just lying again. It was meant for a note-taking, but even then I shouldn't have been giggling, and I should have just treated that recording seriously. That was my... Yeah, no, the issue isn't that you weren't taking it seriously, Izzy. There was a lot of shit that you said in there that betrayed your guys' intent behind the whole thing. I've already gone over what you guys have said several times, but no, it's not the fact that you weren't taking the situation seriously. It's about the contents in the recording, not the tone. Holy shit, the amount of time she's trying to rewrite history with this. But I'm totally taking responsibility for my actions, guys. The only reason it's out, yeah, we wanted to bleep things out, especially some more personal info like names. which is why my friends who were on the more paranoid side wanted it taken down and immediately threatened to sue. Yet you didn't do that, they did. Just kind of passing off the blame to other people, huh, Izzy? It's not like you also made veiled attempts to sue, or, threats to sue. Still, that was our fault for jumping the gun, especially with on the wrong person. I'm sorry, Meta, that you had to deal with immature people. Again, it's just immaturity. Sorry for that dang old immaturity. I'm sorry that past queen did this to you. Hopefully we can grow and learn from this whole situation. I also want to apologize again to everyone for having to deal with me. I'm just a little silly bean. Thank you for at least some amounts of patience with my stupidity. That was really dumb. Most of it was just, aha, oopsies. Well, let's all have a good laugh about it and then not talk about it. Here's hoping she does grow up. I know, it's not exactly the worst thing in the world. It's not like this has to hang over her head for the rest of her life. There's nothing that she can do right now to, quote-unquote, take accountability for her actions now, because everything's been resolved, right? But holy shit, she is such an unlikable person. Oh, learn not to steal cats. Well, anyway, thoughts, comments, questions? Discuss.